Welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You can see like my iPad right here. So oops, let's scoot that back a little bit. There we go. Hi, welcome in, everybody. We got it. We got it up finally. It only took us 3 months to get the sign up. If you're new to the channel, hello, hi, and welcome. My name is Tanya, or TitaniumBuilt. We are talking about our sign here. We got it when we hit, I think, 5,000 Titans with 5,000 subscribers, and we moved studios. So I moved studios, and we finally got it back up after 3 months. So that's my surprise. It's not like a big surprise, but it's a nice surprise for everybody because you guys have been asking about it. And now it just makes everything like better. I don't know. But I don't like seeing the white on the bottom of the floor there, like the baseboard. I'll have to fix that. But we're just fixing stuff. We're just getting it ready. Welcome in, everybody. So hi, hello, welcome again. We are going to be talking about a couple of different cases tonight. If you got 15 notifications from me today, I am so sorry. I was like all over the place. I was really all over the place. So you can see that I have like my name's unfiltered in the chat. I wonder if it's still like that. Maybe if I go this. There we go. Okay. I'll go to just this channel. So welcome in. Let's go ahead and welcome some people in. If you guys don't mind just saying hello to the person above you, saying hello to the person below you. Maybe you'll make a friend tonight. Hey, Destiny. Hey, Ladybug. Hey, Frenchie. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Katie. We got a lot of people in here. R Whip. Cheryl. Catherine. Good thing I'm fast. I had another comment talking about, hey, Tammy, talking about how I talked for a long time and I was on like a minute and 14 seconds before I started the case. I just walked through the door, going to try to get some of my groceries put up real quick before the live starts. Oh, look at that. Hey, Stephanie. Truth and Justice. Hey, Frenchie. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Otto. Hope you're feeling better. You know, you were sick for a while. Hey, Catherine. CKJ. CJK. I think I say that backwards all the time. Hey, Therese. Welcome in. Crafty one. Everyone's in here. I love it. Juju's in here. We got everyone. Stephanie. Jen DC. Mr. Rosebud. Right on time. Yeah. She changed the subject in the time. I know. I was really all over the place. I'm sorry. I really was. I didn't know which case I wanted to talk about. And then I saw that I forgot that Nancy Grace had 2 like episodes that I wanted to catch up on with you guys. And so I was like, why don't we just do that? Cat's Life. Hey, welcome in. Oh, so my name's going under unfiltered. So that's my second channel. If you're wondering why my name's going under that, that's why. I'll have to see how to fix that. Hey, Aries. Hey, Doodlebug. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Yellow Blue. Okay. He keeping up the chatter. T. Salas, Warflare. I know I'm missing people. Cheryl. I think I already said Cheryl. I always do. Sailor Outlaw George. Man, you got your name. You got Sailor Outlaw George now. I like it. I was talking about that the other day. She said, I need Ozempic, Mr. Rosebud, for my weight. I love how you're so like brutally honest. Hey, LR. I need it too, though. I was telling Vincent that. Nancy does approve. Actually, I got to get Nancy back there tonight. Hey, VMath. Hey, Amanda. Welcome in, everybody. Okay, before someone comes after me. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Jean. We're towards the end. Hey, D. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. But my name is TitaniumBuilt again. I'm Tanya. We do talk true crime daily here. So if you don't mind and you appreciate the content, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button, because those 2 things really help small channels grow to be big channels. And that's what we're trying to do here. We just hit, I believe, like 14.2 K subscribers on the channel. Welcome in, everybody. I love that. I love that. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. If you guys did not have great weather today, I feel bad for you. We had an awesome weather day in Ohio. It was like 65 and sunny. Oh, it was beautiful. So we got the sign up. We got a lot of stuff done, and we went out for a while. So we're going to talk about 2 cases tonight. So let's see here. I say that a lot. Let's see. Oh, I'm seeing them. Oh, wait. What'd you say, T. Salas? I just saw that one. Did I have to show anything? I don't see it. Yeah. What's going on? I don't see it. I don't see your comment. Yeah, that's weird. I don't see it on here. You're on the right channel. Maybe put it in there again. That's really weird. Good weather, same in NC, about 70 degrees. Yeah, Tammy, it was great. I was loving it. It's going to be 73 here tomorrow. I was like, phew. I will be out and sitting somewhere. just enjoying it. I have a little porch swing, so maybe I'll sit on that for a little bit. But we're going to talk about 2 different cases tonight. We're going to talk about Madeline Soto and Elijah Vue. So, an email. Okay, I'll look at it. I'll look at it here in just a minute. Thank you. I thought you meant like in the chat. And I was like, I don't see it. It's probably because I haven't checked my email today. I've been really bad about that. Or yesterday, actually. I've been really bad about that. I think I'm going to start checking it Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. So let me grab her picture here. Let me see. Here we go. And I guess we'll go ahead and we'll do Madeline's case first. We've been covering a lot of children on this channel, and it's been really, really hard, covering like kids, hearing the tragedies that are happening to them. We've had 5, I think, that like just in the last like 2 weeks that we've talked about on this channel. It's been totally insane. I think we've covered 9 since the middle of February. 9 children. 9. Yeah, I mean, I went live on both channels just to try it. So if you're over on my other channel, Unfiltered, you guys can come over here. And if you want to stay over there, you can stay over there. And I'll put the link into that for that channel really quick into the chat, because I can't do 2 things at once. Oops, what'd I do? I just pasted something in there. Oh crap. Sorry, I don't know where it went now. That's okay. Okay, I'll find it in a minute. That's okay. The channel is Unfiltered with Tanya, but I don't think it'll come up as that. Yes, yeah. Yeah, I was going to go over that tomorrow. That Audrey's dad. Yeah, I heard that too. I actually heard that too. I have it pulled up. Where is it? I had it pulled up anyway, because I heard from Crime Lines and Lies. She had it on her YouTube. I don't know if that's where you guys heard it, but yeah, everyone's failing everybody here. Yeah, Sebastian. Elizabeth, I did a video over that today. Actually, this morning it came out, Sebastian. The little boy that's autistic. Yeah. Terry Dean brought it to my attention. So that was really nice of her. So I did a video for her. Okay. So we'll get on with the case. We are going to go to my notes a little bit because we've been covering so many different cases. It's insanity here. But we're going to cover 2 cases tonight. So we have some updates to give you guys, and I was going to play a couple episodes of Nancy Grace for you. So we're going to be here for a little bit. So get your jammies on, get comfortable, get a snack. But like I said, tonight we're going to cover a couple of videos that I didn't get the chance to show you from Nancy Grace. She did one on Elijah Vue, and then she did one on Madeline Soto. So actually, yeah, let's go ahead and do Madeline first. Or Madeline, sorry. If I call her Madalena, I'm so sorry. We have another case on the channel that's Madalena Kochikari, and they're about the same age. So I think of that. I think of her when I see her sometimes. Well, there we go. There's Terry Dean. Thank you, Terry Dean. I appreciate that. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. So this is 13-year-old Madeline Soto. She went missing after her mother's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns, dropped her off at school. But he never really did that. He was later arrested for a couple charges unrelated to this case, but he's now been charged with her unaliving. Madeline was last seen February 26th. Stefan is 37, and he was the last person to see her. During the investigation of Madeline's disappearance, detectives with the Orange County Sheriff's Office found very disturbing images on Stefan's phone. Like we can't even say what these images were. I tried to read you guys the PCA. Remember that? And I couldn't show it on the screen. I had to summarize it for you guys because it was so graphic. It's just, I don't know. It's been crazy. It's just been a lot. I did redact it, the back or the bottom page. So if we want to, we could go over that because I redacted it all. I redacted everything that needed to be redacted. It is heinous. Yes, Otto. It is. It's I mean, they're describing someone's downstairs. Like they were going into detail what they saw. And I have a feeling what they saw is what we think they saw. You know? Ugh. And there he is. Stefan Stearns. Young, 37. Crazy. 13 years old. She just celebrated her 13th birthday. She said when she turns 13, she wants to go live in the woods. Now, I don't know any kid that wants to go live in the woods, really. I mean, unless there's like a tree house or something cool out there. You're like, I mean, you're pretty scared of the woods at night. If you're 13, I would be scared at night to be outside. Horrific. So this article is going to kind of go through everything that like kind of happened. And then I know there's some stuff on the backside too. So we'll go through that. Police in Florida announced on Friday that they found the body of 13-year-old Madeline Soto less than a week after she failed to show up for school in Kissimmee, Florida. And in the beginning of this investigation, I don't know if you guys thought, but I thought that when they said that they had her on video surveillance, I thought she was physically out of the vehicle, like walking through the parking lot. That's how I took that. I don't know why I took it like that. But I think a lot of other people took it like that as well. And so I was thinking he did it, but I was like, how did he lure her back into the car? So then, after we learned a little bit more, finding out, they did have video of her in the vehicle and they thought she was deceased at the time. Then I was like, oh, she was in the car. That makes more sense. So after a 4-day search, the local sheriff's office said it was confident that she was dead. The grim discovery was made several hours later. Her mother's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns, is lead suspect and in police custody on S battery and possession of child S abuse material charges. Here's everything we know about Madeline Soto. When did Madeline Soto go missing? And here's her picture here. Madeline Soto, 13, was reported missing on Monday, 26th of February at around 8:30 a.m. She actually celebrated her birthday Sunday. Orange County Sheriff's Office said that she was last seen off Village Park Drive in Kissimmee near Orlando heading to school. Madeline was described as white 5'1", tall with blonde hair and blue eyes. 5'1's not tall. Why does it say 5'1 tall? She was wearing a green sweatshirt, black shorts, and white Crocs. I don't think 5'1's even a tall for a 13-year-old. Mom is sus. Yeah. I don't care what anyone says. Like, I was rewatching the interviews. There's no panic. It's almost like she was told something like terrible and she's in shock from it. She's like in a shock kind of phase, like, yeah, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like the way she's kind of like acting. I don't know. It's just weird to me. It's very weird. Hey, Mystic. Look at all these people. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Tammy's Clips. Welcome in. Welcome in. If you guys don't mind, how everyone tells you hit that like button. I'm not going to tell you that many times. I'm going to tell you just tonight. Just tonight, I said. Just for a little bit. No, just telling you. I'll just tell you 1 or 2 times. How about that? I'll make it easy. Her mother's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns, claimed that he had dropped her off close to Hunters Creek Middle School, but not outside. However, the girl never showed up for class. Her mother only discovered that Madeline was missing when she went to pick her up from school later that day. And I just remember this. Do you remember on the last live? Wasn't the mom going after the school? She was going to go after the school because she was trying to say that they never called her to let her know Madeline wasn't at school. Am I thinking of this one? However, the girl never showed up for us. Oh, sorry, I already read that. More than 50 law enforcement officers spent the days following Madeline's disappearance searching for her in nearby woodland. Officers had found messages on her phone that she wanted to live in the woods when she turned 13. I wonder who she said that to, or if it was like in her notes. Like where was that? Where did they find that? Does anyone know? I don't think we know that yet. Thank you so much, Tammy, for the $20. Thank you so much for the super sticker. That's so kind. Oh, thank you. That's a cute little thing. Emoji. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Well, you thank you for being you. Hey, V Math, welcome to the crew. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. I get 50 law enforcement officers. Okay, wow. There they go. Back to back, like they were looking, they weren't going to miss her. There are pictures here. I don't know. I don't want to press that because it'll probably take us somewhere crazy. Sheriff John Minya said that he met with Madelin's mother on Thursday night to tell her that he was confident that her daughter was dead and that his deputies were now looking for her body. I couldn't imagine having that conversation with any mother, guilty or not guilty. You know what I mean? Of something like, I just couldn't imagine. The officer explained that OCSO has video of evidence that shows Mr. Stearns throwing items into the dumpster behind their apartment building at around 7:35 a.m. Those items included the teen's backpack and her school-issued laptop. I wonder if the laptop had some sort of tracking on it. I bet it did for the school. You know what I mean? Because like the schools would probably want to get their stuff back. Like what if a student like doesn't bring it back? Oh, they probably just charge them, but you know what I mean? Like maybe they have some sort of like device on it that tells you where it's at. I don't know. But that might be kind of like invasion of privacy. I don't know. At 8:19 a.m., we have evidence that shows Stephon Stearns returning to the complex and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. We believe she was already dead at that time. So I'm wondering, when was the last time that her mom saw her? Because at 7:35, he's throwing stuff away. So I'm just going to assume that she was already deceased at that time. She was already unalived at that time at 7:35. So then at 8:09, so maybe he had her in the car at that time. And he threw away the backpack and the laptop. They didn't say, you know what I mean? Maybe they didn't have her on surveillance. Maybe they just have him. You can't maybe see in the car where he's parked. I don't know. Because that maybe, and then at 8:19, maybe they get like a shot like head on and they could be like, okay, for real, that's her. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, it was intentional, yeah. Happy Cappy, I wondered that too. If he killed her the night before. I want to know what mom was doing, where she was, what she was doing. Yes, exactly. If mom was at work, what time did she go? Exactly. I'm wondering that too. Because no one's ever said. No one's ever really told us where mom's been. It's very weird. Actually, let me see something. I'm on the Madeline Soto Facebook site. I was on there today. I forgot. Yeah, maybe we'll go through that if we have time. If not, we'll go through it on the next live because there's a lot of stuff on there. So on Friday afternoon, the sheriff's office confirmed that her body had been found in a wooded area in Osceola County. I don't say that right. Osceola. Oh, man, I used to know how to say it. Now I can't say it. I don't think that's how you say it. At about 4:30 p.m. today, off of Hickory Tree Road, Osceola County Sheriff's Office search teams located the body of Madeline Soto in a wooded area. Madeline's family has been notified, the office said in a statement. We have no additional information to release at this time. Kissimmee PD is the lead agency in this homicide investigation. That work continues. I wonder how warm it is down there this time of year. I'm just curious because she was out there for a while. I'm just curious if they'll be able to do the right testing and stuff. I just want to make sure they can get everything they need. So it says we have no additional information to release at this time. Okay. On Wednesday, the 20th of February, OCSO announced that it had arrested Mr. Stearns following the discovery of disturbing images on his phone, which he tried to delete. Those photos and videos were criminal in nature, the office said. The office shared a video of the suspect in handcuffs. We'll watch this here, just because, it's like 20 seconds long, 27 seconds long. Maybe. There we go. I wonder if that guy's like, oh man, I gotta do a video. The sheriff guy. Now, I want to know where all the news reporters were. Where's Brian Enton? Oopsie, sorry. Where's Brian Enton? Where's JLR? JLR's good at yelling at people. He got Murdaugh. I think he might even got Kohlberger. He got a couple people. He got a few. He'll mess around. He got Buster. They're going to get you for this, Buster. I mean, yeah. He knows how to get to people. At a Friday's briefing, Sheriff Minya said that investigators believe Mr. Stearns dumped Madelin's belongings before moving her body, rather than taking her to school as he originally claimed. Kissimmee Police Department has Mr. Stearns in custody. He's being held on S battery and possession of child S abuse material charges. Now, I have a feeling, and I think you all have the same feeling as me, that and they were in fact probably Madelin's pictures. I'm assuming that they were. And him and his pictures, because I mean, they gave us a description. And in that PCA, it says here, I was reading it. Further, as your affiant was reviewing the pictures and videos, I was observing several different pieces of clothing to include patterned underwear, shirts, blankets, and sheets. And then it's all redacted. I have a feeling they're going to say, like, based on our investigation, we found the same underwear, blankets, and sheets in Madelin's room. You know what I mean? So the pictures would have been taken in her room because they already said they were taken at the house. Crazy. Kissimmee PD shared photos of Mr. Stearns' car, which he was seen driving between 1 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. on February 26 in the area of State Road 192 and Old Hickory Tree Road. It is believed he had a flat tire at the time. Who's supposed to tire like this? Come on, guys. TYRE. Madelin's mother is not considered a suspect at this time. And remember, they did say that in the press conference. They were like, she's not a suspect. And he said, yet. I remember him saying like something like that. Let's see. In a statement released on Friday afternoon, Orange County Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Maria Vasquez paid tribute to their precious student. My thoughts and prayers go out to Maddie's family and her school community, Dr. Vasquez said. To lose a child so suddenly and tragically is extremely difficult, especially for family and friends. Counselors continue to be available for any student or staff member dealing with the news. I ask that you keep the entire Hunters Creek Middle School community in your prayers as they grieve the loss of one of their own. Okay. Let's see here. So yeah, I think that they're going to say that they found the sheets, the blanket, the underwear. They said patterned underwear. I don't know. Not a whole lot of women. I feel like women wear patterned underwear. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm the only one. Really? Ella Blue? No, I didn't hear that. Has anyone else heard that Maddie's pregnant? But we've heard that in like other cases too. Like Audrey. They were saying that in her case. Crazy. A prayer vigil was held on Friday. And I think, I want to say there's something else I want to tell you guys. I know there's more. I know there's way more. This is for Audrey. This is for Maddie. Okay. So as we're watching the Nancy Grace episode, she's going to talk all about this case. She, actually, let me see here. I'll put it on there. Wrong one. Sorry. I have both of these up for you. So, it says here that she talks with a couple different, her experts. That's what she does. It says Madeline, 13, has been missing since Monday morning with her mom's boyfriend dropped the teen off near Peace United Methodist Church. Now, he really made that lie sound believable. I think that lie sounded so believable when he said, yeah, I dropped her off at the church because she was kind of ashamed of my car. That to me made sense. Like, isn't that why Stefan Steven started? Sorry. I just said that. Like, hold on. Let's see if we can find his car. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see here. There it is. Okay. Yeah. So, oh, that's way too small. let's see if I can get this to be bigger for you guys. Okay, there we go. So he says here that, he says like she didn't want to sit in my car. She didn't want to get dropped off in my car. She didn't want, the kids to see her or whatever. She was embarrassed of my vehicle. I could see her saying that, I mean, I don't know if he had the donut on it there before. That's probably the tire that went flat, but he has like, dents, and it's an older vehicle and there's scratches on the back. I could see a teenage girl saying, I don't want to get pulled, or I don't want to get pulled up by you with you. Creepy McCreeperson. He's probably creepy anyway. And then she probably just wants to get out of the car. Well, she didn't get out of the car. She was, unalived already. But if she wasn't, it's totally insane what's going on. I feel like in this country right now. And I mean, it's probably in every country, but we deal with way too many child cases on this channel, I feel like. So I'm going to go ahead and play this Nancy Grace episode. I'll pause it here and there so we can talk about what's going on, but for the most part, I'll play it for you guys. Thank you guys for being here tonight. If you do appreciate the case coverage, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. We do talk true crime here daily, so that's what we do. We're usually here a little bit earlier, but we were running a little late tonight. Had to get my sign up. I had eye drops. That's the problem, and I'm not good with eye drops. I remember my mom in school. Okay, what was that? What did my mom drive when I was in high school? A Hyundai Sonata. It was a cute little car, but yeah, I let her pull me up at school because, I mean, yeah, it was cold and stuff. I'm like, I'm not doing that. But my mom wasn't creepy. I just have a feeling he was just a little bit weird. So I don't know if you guys have been on Twitter or anywhere. Actually, it wasn't Twitter. It was Facebook discussion group. Somebody took this picture, right? And they zoomed in over here where like you could see the reflection in the mirror. And they were looking at these guys and this guy's legs. And they were like, look at all these older men there. And I mean, people were like, you need to take this down. You need to take this off the internet. Like this isn't right. Because she was like, someone was insinuating just something really bad. So, I mean, it was her birthday. I'm sure she had a wonderful time. But I think I did hear that people were saying that she might have been with a P word, because I don't even want to say it because it's just so gross. But I think she just looks healthy. I don't know. I hope not. I would hope not. Surely hope not. Why take it down? I think that it was just because it was like just too much. Let me see if I'll try to find it again, unless she took it down, because I don't see it. But yeah, I'll look for it again and I'll show it to you guys when I find it. I will go ahead and let's play this. If you guys don't mind, just take a second, hit that like button. It's totally free to do. Hey there, Frank. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Jean. Hey, our Whip. I think I said hi to you guys earlier, but I don't know if I did. Hey, Tina. Oh, no, you're fine. Tina just put it on like 1.5 speed. We didn't really do too much in the beginning. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and play this for you guys. And then I'm going to get on, like I said, social media, and I'm going to like dig up some more stuff. If there's anything new, which I'm sure we'll find something, and we'll talk about it.
February 22.
Oh, let me turn this up.
And she had said in the past, when I turn 13, I want to go away from everybody.
I wonder why Nancy's been really quiet on this one. If you guys think she's too quiet, I can always turn it on the podcast version and it'll be a little bit louder. For some reason, this version isn't as loud. So you guys let me know if it's too low for you. Oh, yeah, just let me know in the chat if it's too low for you guys. And we'll turn it on the podcast version. And I could put pictures up of Maddie. So I mean, like that you guys have something to look at other than just the writing on the screen.
And go live alone in the woods. And right now, I think I know why. Is this little girl still alive? Where is Maddie? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. Right off the top, there is a very strong chance Maddie could still be alive. Tip line 407 254 7000. Repeat 40.
Can you guys hear it? Okay, just let me know. And I'll look at my email too.
07-254-7000. Every minute counts with what we are dealing with right now. Her mother devastated. And in the last hours, around 10 p.m. last night, a break in the case, but still no Maddie. First of all, take a listen to Sheriff John Mina, Orange County.
This is every parent's worst nightmare. Many of our detectives and deputies who are working the case, they also have children, so they're working extra hard to find Madeline. We can't even imagine the pain and anguish that Madeline's family is going through. But I do want to assure the community that we have well over 100 deputies, detectives, intelligence analysts, and specialized personnel who are investigating this case and searching for Madeline right now. And we will not stop until we find her.
Over 100 deputies, detectives, intelligence analysts, specialized personnel. That means dog handlers, drones, you name it, in the search for Madeline Soto. Where is this girl? None of it makes any sense. With me, an all-star panel. But first, I want to go out to Hannah McKenzie, joining us out of Orlando, investigative reporter, Fox 35. Hannah McKenzie, thank you for being with us. Hannah, tell me about the morning that Maddie disappeared.
Okay, so Maddie was last seen around 8:30 a.m. on Monday, February 26th. She was dropped off outside about a block away from her middle school, which was Hunters Creek Middle School. But she never actually made it into the school. School officials confirm she never checked in, none of her classes, wasn't there the entire day. Her family thought that she was there, but it wasn't until her mother went to pick her up around 4:30 p.m. that they realized Maddie hadn't been there.
You know, before I began screaming at the top of my lungs about why the school
Let me grab my
didn't call
Nancy
the parents,
cardboard
why
cutout.
nobody knew, how whoever has her, if somebody has her, got what, an 8 or 9 hour jump on us. Explain to me, you're joining us from Orlando. Where exactly did this happen?
So this is within the Orange County School District, and it's the Orange County area. I've spoken with a number of Maddie's relatives, including
She looks just
two
like
of
her
her
mom.
aunts, her grandmother, and her mother, all of whom, like you, are so puzzled and confused as to why there wasn't a call from the school district letting them know that Maddie wasn't there. Apparently, and this is coming from the family, the school district's protocol is to release a robocall around 4:30 or 5 p.m., letting parents know that their student wasn't in class that day. But like you said, that gives an 8-9 hour jump on any nefarious activity that could have gone wrong. By then, it's too late. You need to know where your child is immediately.
Did she say they don't call till 4 o'clock? Let me hold a second here. Because, I mean, I was telling you the other night, my teacher or the secretary of my school, she had the Rolodex. She had my card like kind of up, because she was calling my family so much. Tanya's tardy. Tanya didn't come to school today. I was so bad. I was really bad. So I want to hear, just going to rewind it just a little bit, a few seconds. I want to hear what this lady says.
Release a robocall around, apparently, and this is coming from the family.
Oh, it's coming from the family.
School district's protocol is to release a robocall around 4:30 or 5 p.m., letting parents know that their student wasn't in class that day. But
really? They don't call in the morning? Hey, Angela. Yes, very horrific. Video, yeah. There's video on his phone. It's disgusting. This poor girl went through hell and back.
Like you said.
And she just turned 13. She just got to be a teenager. She didn't even get to be a teenager.
That gives an 8-9 hour jump on any nefarious activity that could have gone wrong. By then, it's too late. You need to know where your child is immediately.
Nothing but a robocall. No text, no email. So unless you're at home, basically, to get that call, you don't have any idea. Guys, we are talking about
sorry to pause it again, but that's how it was when I was in school. They need to get with the times. I mean, I graduated back in 04 and they did robocalls then. I mean, it was like our secretary calling, but if you got if you got to the answering machine in time to get it, to delete it, your parents never knew that you weren't in school. You know what I mean? But yes, this is crazy.
About a little 13-year-old girl. We're talking about Madeline Soto, just 13. She goes as Maddie. Guys, you were hearing earlier Sheriff John Meena with the Orange County Sheriffs. Now, take a listen to the sheriff.
Mom's boyfriend dropped Madeline off at about 8:30 a.m. on Monday morning, a few blocks away from the school. At approximately 4:30 on Monday afternoon, Madeline's mom went to the school to pick her up and found out that Madeline was not there and had never reported to school. So she never actually entered the school. And so we also learned that Madeline left her phone at home that day.
Okay, I find so many things about what I'm just hearing to be very curious. You're hearing Sheriff John Meena from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Number one, when I drop my children at school, I take them to the door as best as I can. I don't drop them several blocks away. Number one. Number two,
I'd be
she left
terrified to
her
be one of her
phone
twins.
at home. Hannah McKenzie, does she go to a school where they don't allow phones in school?
I don't believe that to be the case, but Jen Soto, Maddie's mother, did tell me it was very regular that Maddie forgot her phone. And keep in mind, this is only a few days after turning 13. So really, she's still a 12-year-old. They're not the most responsible. And yes, I'm sure parents are constantly, reminding the kids, don't forget this, keep this, put this in your backpack. But Jen Soto tells me that Maddie would leave her phone behind quite often. So that wasn't abnormal.
That may be true, but let me go out to Anna Sonoda joining us, child grooming expert, clinical social worker, author of Duck, Duck, Groom, Understanding How a Child Becomes a Target. Just those words right there, how a child becomes a target, are very disturbing on many, many levels. But Anna Sonoda, I don't know, just based on every teen or preteen that I know, they go nowhere without a phone. And I find it very coincidental that this day of all days, she goes to school without a phone.
Yeah, that's a really curious detail, Nancy. And I would also be curious about whether or not the boyfriend consistently dropped her off at other locations besides the front door of the school. Is this a common occurrence or is this something out of the ordinary?
We are trying to determine exactly what happened in the.
Now, I will say, the whole thing about her missing school, or sorry, her leaving her phone at home. I believe that. I believe that almost because they said she had ADHD. Your girl here, I leave my phone everywhere. If I didn't have this watch to beep my phone probably at least 3 times a day, I would lose my cell phone. I would have lost it. I would have lost it probably right when I got it. Probably would have walked out of the store and been like, oh, where's my phone? I do it every time I go to the car. I'm like, oh, forgot my phone. I always have to do a check when I get in there. So maybe she did forget her phone, but I don't think she was alive at that point. That's my honest opinion.
Morning hours when little Maddie Soto gets dropped off at her school. This occurred in Orlando,
Maybe her friends
Florida.
were.
It's beautiful, sunny, warm. So I'm guessing if she were out in the woods, Hannah McKenzie, she would not be subjected to any kind of weather that would cause hypothermia. But I just haven't had very good experiences in my world of children fending for themselves in the woods. So what were the temps on the 26th?
So right now in Orlando, it has been beautiful weather. It's been kind of cool for us. 70s, and then at night around 60s. It has been beautiful weather. So yeah, no chance of hypothermia for sure.
At least that's one thing we don't have to worry about. For those of you
Mhm.
just joining us, a beautiful little girl,
We've already had a
Madeline
case like that.
Soto, missing since Feb 26. She was dropped off to school by mom's boyfriend. The mom has been in a long-term relationship with the boyfriend. He knows the daughter.
Even their
When mom-
glasses look the same. Like they're the same shape almost. I don't know. She looks so much like her mom. It's eerie in a way, doesn't she? Do you think? I don't know. There's so many thoughts going through my head. Thank you, Bridget. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing it. Oh, what'd you say, Butterfly Angel? Hey, Retro Kitten, welcome in. Do you think Maddie looks pregnant over there? A lot of people said that. I think she just kind of looks healthy. I think it's the way that the dress is too. Like it's one of those, it kind of like ruffle. It's supposed to, I think in fact, it's supposed to kind of like ruffle right there. Like, kind of like fold over, almost like an accordion, like a little bit right there. And I think that it might just be like pulled out a little bit, like, pulled up, and I don't know, it's resting a little bit weird. Yeah. Retro Kitten, he thought a retro kitten. She said, I thought, he thought a retro, or if I say retro one more time, I just love your name, I guess. He thought a factory reset would delete everything. He is a monster. No, he wasn't very smart. And there's all 7s in here. So that must be my lucky number tonight. Okay. Let's get back to Nancy.
Mom came to pick her up. She had
So
never
much like her
come
mom.
into the school. What more do we know? Listen to Sheriff John Minna.
We were called on Monday evening at approximately 8 p.m. Our patrol deputies went out there, met with Madeline's mom at the school near Hunters Creek to take a report on her missing daughter. So we started the investigation that night, started canvassing the area, looking for any witnesses or surveillance video. So later that evening, while we were doing investigation, we did obtain an article of Madeline from the house. We called our bloodhound. The bloodhound did an extensive search, which unfortunately did not provide any results about her whereabouts.
Joining me right now, Chris McDonough, former homicide detective with over 300 death investigations under his belt. He's the founder of the Cold Case Foundation, and he is the star of The Interview Room on YouTube. Chris McDonough, thank you for being with us. Okay, let me understand something. And anybody on the panel, we've got a lot of esteemed guests on with us. This is not high tea at Windsor Castle. Jump in if you got an idea. But Chris McDonough, question to you. So she's last seen at 8:30 a.m. in the morning when the boyfriend of the mom's boyfriend, drops her off. There is actually surveillance video of her out of the vehicle, sitting in a parking lot. I believe, Hannah McKenzie, wasn't it at a nearby church?
That is correct. It's grainy video apparently, but it shows Maddie. We don't know if she was alone or with anyone else, but that video shows that she was dropped off in the area.
Where is the church in relation to the school? When I grew up, the school, Dr. John H. Hurd Elementary, was in the very same parking lot. We shared a parking lot with Liberty United Methodist Church. So if somebody said, oh, you're in the church parking lot, that meant you're in the school parking lot. It was the same thing. So I'm trying to understand, where is this church where she's sitting in the parking lot in the morning?
It's about a block away. If you're standing on the sidewalk and you kind of crane your neck, you would still be able to see the signage for the school.
Okay, that's important. Guys, Hannah McKenzie joining us, Fox 35, 1 block away. And the boyfriend said he dropped her off a couple of blocks or a block away from the school. He says he was ashamed of his vehicle. Did you guys hear that? She was ashamed of the vehicle. Okay, well, can I tell you something? My twins hate to get dropped off by me and my minivan. Hate it. Now, is that the case? I don't know. But he says he dropped her off a couple of blocks away. She's seen in the church parking lot, which Hannah McKenzie is telling me is 1 block away, on surveillance video. We know she got out of his vehicle. That's important. So back to you, Chris McDonough. Here is another conundrum. The police get a call, the sheriff's, Sheriff John Minna, Orange County Sheriff, says he gets a call at 8 p.m. Excuse me, isn't pickup 3:30? What happened between 3 and 8? That's 5 more hours. Help me, Chris McDonough.
Yeah, red flags here. If the child has that type of gap in between from the moment they were seen on that CCTV potentially and the moment that they should have been returned home, that time obviously works in favor of the suspect, whoever that person is at this point. And that's going to be, quite difficult to fill in that time until they get somebody into custody.
Back to you, Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35. Why the delay? Maybe it's completely innocent. And let me stress, I do not believe Maddie's mother is involved in her disappearance in any way at all. But that time period, that's
You have to say that,
disturbing.
Nancy.
Now, if I can't find one of the twins, which let me think has never happened. Hold on just a moment. Just once when John David snuck off at age 3 inside a baby superstore. But when they're not where I think that they're supposed to be, I take time to call them, to look for them. Maybe mom called her cell phone for 30 minutes. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Texted. Maybe mommy didn't know that the phone had been left at home. Maybe mommy drove the route and checked the route between the school and home and started calling friends. But 5 hours is a long time to wait to call police, Hannah McKenzie. Do you know what was happening in that 5 hours?
So, Nancy, it's funny you mentioned that. We are getting kind of conflicting reports. Obviously, we've requested the call logs, but right now, Jen Soto, Maddie's mom, tells me she went to the school to pick her up around 4:30, realized she wasn't there. She did exactly what you just said, Nancy. She drove a route that was from the school to Maddie's grandmother's business, which was very close, probably within a mile.
Well, whose business? Whose business?
This is Maddie's grandmother, so Jen's mom.
Okay.
So she drove that route to see if Maddie maybe had walked to her grandmother's business. Didn't see her. Went back to the school. By the time she got back to the school, it was closed. She emailed Maddie's teachers, got confirmation that Maddie didn't make it to school that day. She tells me she called police immediately, and they told her they didn't have deputies to send her way and to hold tight.
What?
Multiple members of Maddie's family tell me they just began calling 911, trying to get an officer out there to take a report, but they felt they were being put on the back burner. It wasn't until around 8 o'clock they were finally able to get in contact with a deputy to make the report.
You know what it sounds like to me, Hannah McKenzie? That a lot of people have it all backwards. The time is reduced if the mom went at 4:30 and the call was at 8. Okay. Let me go back to Chris McDonough. Jordan, who's speaking?
That's Chris.
Chris, jump in.
Okay, so also another thing to consider, to your point just a minute ago, is, she's dressed for a day activity, i.e. black shorts, a green hoodie, and white Crocs. She's not dressed as if she's, in long pants and is going to stay out into the evening, which you had talked about earlier. So this child is anticipating, some type of activities during the day, which is obviously important to consider from an investigative perspective.
Guys, you're hearing Chris McDonough from the interview room on YouTube. Now, I'm trying to figure out where you head next in this investigation. We also hear, Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35, that bloodhounds were called out. Where?
That's correct. Bloodhounds were called out near the school. Apparently, there's a little hiking area back there. They brought in an article of Maddie's clothing for a scent reference, and bloodhounds were brought in. Unfortunately, they didn't hit on any scent trails.
Even in the church parking lot?
I believe so. They were canvassing the entire area where Maddie had been seen. I know multiple businesses had surveillance video showing her, according to what Sheriff Mina was saying. So they did scour that area, and I believe they're still out there today.
Multiple businesses catch Maddie on cam? Yes, no.
In addition, yes, in addition to the original grainy video from the church, Sheriff Mina mentioned in his press conference that there was other video showing Maddie.
Guys, joining me right now, I'm hearing in my ear Dr. Trace Sargent, search, rescue, recovery expert, and spent a great deal. This is how I met her. She's an expert canine handler. She's a star of a podcast, The Seeker's Quest, and you can find her on Facebook at The Seeker's Quest.
That dog is
Trace,
gorgeous.
thank you so much for being with us. I know you from your days as
Bridget
an
said the same
expert
thing.
dog handler.
Gorgeous.
What does this tell you about the bloodhounds being brought out?
Well, Nancy, it's interesting listening to the timeline here. That is an important factor when we look at all these different resources, specifically for dogs. Dogs have this incredible, amazing ability to detect scent in a lot of different ways. However, it's important for listeners to know that scent, if you look at it from the perspective of a living organism, it comes to life, it has a life cycle, and then it dies out. And there are many factors that can either accelerate or decelerate that lifespan of scent. Describing the scene of where Maddie was last seen, it was very urban, concrete, asphalt, a lot of vehicles. Even though it wasn't super, super hot, it was still sunny type of weather. It wasn't raining. It was dry conditions. All of those factors is going to have a negative effect on scent. And the bottom line is this: no matter how good a dog is, if scent isn't there, they're not going to detect it because there isn't any scent there. If we don't pick up scent in an area, and it's really very fortunate that we have any video surveillance that shows that Maddie was in the area, so that is a big, big plus that we as dog handlers have what we call a starting point. And then the dogs can determine a direction of travel, pick up the scent, and then follow that person's scent to hopefully where they are. In this case, if the dogs are not able to pick it up, you have to say, okay, did Maddie get into a vehicle with someone? Or if I was working this, I would put my dog in a situation where if Maddie is in the area and we can't see her with our eyes, I'm going to use my dog for that. Let's say in a wooded area or in maybe hidden in a building or something like that where we visually can't see her. Also, if I put the dogs, let's say in a wooded area, there's a higher likelihood that scent is going to be more contained there because of the vegetation, the grass, the trees, the canopy of the vegetation and trees. All of those factors are going to help scent stay alive even after hours or days later. So just because the dog team doesn't find scent at that exact location, there are still alternatives to use that resource, but it also raises other questions. Is Maddie not in the area? Has she been picked up? Is she, because my thought is that if she's in the area and let's say she's fallen down and hurt, her scent is absolutely going to be quite strong in what we call a scent pool. So if we're looking here now 4 or 5 days later, she's lying there in the woods, her scent pool is going to be extremely strong for the dogs to detect and be able to go to her.
This makes me think that she has been taken somewhere in a vehicle. Guys, we are learning more about the investigation. Has little 13-year-old Madeline Soto been taken away in a vehicle? Is she still alive? The facts we are learning are very disturbing. Very disturbing. Listen to Sheriff Mina.
Our missing persons detectives responded to take over the investigation. So they did interviews with mom's boyfriend, Madeline's friends from school. We were able to access Madeline's phone, and there is information on the phone that indicated that she told people when she turned 13, which was on February 22nd, she actually wanted to go live in the woods. So that was in her phone.
And I think I know why this little girl wanted to go live in the woods. Listen.
Detectives forensically examined Stephen Stern's cell phone and discovered disturbing images. Looking into the phone's data, detectives uncovered attempts to delete evidence from the device as well. Images and videos on Stephen Stern's phone that were criminal and sexual in nature. Detectives were then able to determine that those crimes were committed at the family home in Kissimmee. Kissimmee police were notified immediately. Stephen Stearns was brought into the Orange County Central Operations Office to be interviewed, but he invoked his right to an attorney. Sheriff John Mina says the search for Madeline continues.
Straight back out to Hannah McKenzie joining us, investigative reporter of Fox 35 in Orlando. Let me understand. Detectives not only looked at Maddie's phone, they looked at the mom's boyfriend phone, Stephen Stearns. There they discover what they say are disturbing images. They also see where there have been attempts to delete images. The detectives state that the images show crimes were committed in the family home. And they are now investigating mom's boyfriend for sexual battery. What can you tell me?
That's when you physically like hurt somebody while you know, in the act. That's where the battery part comes in. We looked it up, like, I think on our last live or the live before. It's hard, really hard to believe since March, right? 2022. Yeah. So this has been going on this has been going on for a while. It's really hard to believe that the mom wouldn't know anything. I mean, it's just really hard to believe. I am going to close the poll out if you guys want to vote on it really quick. And it's just, I'll let you guys know what the question was if you're listening in. But it says, do you think Maddie told her mom about what was going on? And I'm going to end the poll. We have 175 votes. Thank you guys for voting. I appreciate that. And let's see. We have 52% said yes, 27% said don't know, and 20% said no. Man, you guys always keep those polls so close. Always so close. And thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate it so much. If you do appreciate the case coverage, just slap your DNA, on that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. We do talk true crime daily here. All the different cases.
Well, disturbing developments.
Oh, and also Nancy's my co-host. She's back there. I moved her.
For sure there,
I was
Nancy.
asking
Not
about her
only
earlier.
are they investigating the boyfriend, Stefan Stearns, they have arrested him. He is charged with sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. I spoke with Maddie's family. They were in tears just following this news, telling me it's disturbing that he's been by Maddie's mom's side, Jennifer. He's been by her side throughout this entire process, and they're very shocked to hear the news.
Possession of child sex abuse material. He is charged with sex battery. Hannah, in the charge against him, who is the alleged victim?
They actually haven't named the victim. They just have said that he is now prime suspect in the disappearance of Maddie Soto.
Jarrett Ferrantino joining me, homicide prosecutor, high-profile lawyer at JarrettFerrantino.com, host of True Crime Boss. Jarrett, I think I know why she wanted to go live in the woods. I mean, if these crimes, according to what we are learning, they are telling us, we're not fabricating this, that the sex crimes, the sex battery, and the child sex abuse material, the crimes were committed at the family home. Maddie is a child in the family home. Now she's gone. She's been saying she wants to go live in the woods. A red flag, my rear end. If your little girl says, I want to just go live in the woods, Mom, I want to know, why do you want to go live in the woods? Why don't you want to stay in the home with me and your dad and your brother? I mean, it's screaming at me, Jarrett Ferrantino, that she is the likely victim of child molestation.
Clearly, Nancy, she's trying to distance herself from that home, and one can only conclude that it's distancing herself from the individuals in that home. The charge of sexual battery really jumps out, and the fact that the police are saying the location of the crime was in the home. Those are not typically the charges that coincide with possession of child abuse materials. These are actual batteries and affirmative acts that appear to have happened in the home. One can only conclude that Maddie would have been the victim of those.
Late last night, this boyfriend was taken into custody. You can see him wearing a white jumpsuit. That's clearly county issue. Hannah McKenzie, what can you tell me? Hannah joining us from Fox 35 Orlando. What time did this go down? And are the only two charges right now child abuse material and sex battery?
Those are the only charges that we have been made aware of, at least for this morning at the latest update that we got at around 10:45. Those charges are still sticking. Stephon Stearns arrested for child sexual abuse material possession of, and then sexual battery as well. So I did speak with a law enforcement expert last night, just following the news that he had been arrested and named prime suspect in Maddie's disappearance. And he took a look at that perp walk video and saw that he was wearing that suit that you mentioned, the Tyvek suit. And so he told me that that indicates that Stephon Stearns' clothing would likely have been seized and processed for genetic and trace evidence. He also likely probably had his hands swabbed, and scrapings may have been taken from underneath his fingernails. So I guess that is just the process where law enforcement is right now, trying to connect Stephon Stearns with the disappearance of Maddie Soto, and better yet, try to find where Maddie Soto is right now.
Dr. Trey Sargent joining us, search, rescue, and recovery expert, canine expert, and law enforcement. You're an expert in predator behavior. Why is he wearing the white?
That's true. Truth and Justice. She said, my mom knew what was happening to me and did nothing, but just not that part, but this part, I'm sorry that happened, but this isn't the first thing I think of in others. I give the benefit of the doubt, but the mom gives me red flags. I forget what I was to say about that now. I had something to say something about that, and then it just slipped my mind, y'all. Man, isn't that something? The mom gives me red flags too. I've got my red flag over here. I should grab it. It was something about the mom. So when was he doing all of this stuff? All of this, these acts. I'm trying to think of a word so where YouTube won't, cancel me. Was he doing, does she work during like a certain hours? Like, is she working like, what would that shift even be? Like third shift? Is she working like 12 to 8 or I don't know, 12 to 7? I don't know what the shifts are, but, it just seems like she would have to be out of the home. But then if she's out of the home and he's doing all this stuff, right? I'm sure he would have left something out or messed up by now. He started doing these things, they're saying, March of 2022. And it ended, they're saying on his phone anyway, 12/3 of 2023. Maybe 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Yeah, maybe. I just don't know when we don't know, Mystic. Yeah, we don't know where the mom works. We know like nothing about where she was at. Oh, Shelly, I didn't know that. Do we know why the mom doesn't have her son living with her? I didn't know that. But I did hear that she might not have went to the vigil, but I don't know that for sure to be like factual. And maybe she didn't unfriend Stephon on Facebook. Now, I don't know if that's your first thing to really go do, but people are talking about it. I don't get on Facebook. It'd probably be the last thing I was thinking of. But
suit
that's just
I
me.
mentioned that Hannah McKenzie elaborated upon.
Yes, Nancy. That is standard protocols to collect any evidence, which includes clothing, body fluids, hair, saliva, anything and everything. And time is of the essence. When we talk about, again, the timeline, we're behind the curve on this, unfortunately, and trying to catch up, so to speak, and get evidence before it's destroyed or manipulated in any way. So getting that up front and as close as possible and really covering all the bases, checking all the boxes, because everything is pointing to him. And no matter, as you know, as a prosecutor, we may think that this person is the perpetrator and he's a predator and all of these things, but we have to prove it. And in order to prove that, we have to have the evidence.
Joining me is Dr. Jory.
I'm sorry I keep pausing this, y'all, but I have questions. Okay. So can anybody tell me how, well, I mean, I want to know what they do for a living, Stefan and Jen, because apparently their home that they live in is 1,470 square feet, like 1,470. That's a lot. It's condominium, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and it's owned by the Soto family. Now, I don't know how many people live there, but I wonder okay, so Stefan, they say in the affidavit, or she says, I'm sorry, in the press conference, or not press conference, her interview, she says, Stefan came and picked her up. Like, meaning like he came and got her, like he was not there. Like he had to come back. Yeah, nice condo. Yeah, let me show you actually. Oh, it's like a picture and everything of it. Oh, I guess you can take a little view. Let me put King Scarlet News in the chat because that's whose video I'm going to use. I don't know if she retweeted it or she made it, but I'm going to put her thing in there. She's really good at getting some of these news articles and stuff out. So we'll watch this really fast. We'll just take a little look inside the house and then we'll go back to Nancy.
Transit vehicles could be seen Thursday outside of a home in the Venetian Bay Villages in Kissimmee. Kissimmee police confirmed
Like Florida's
the home
not cheap.
is related to the disappearance of 13-year-old Madeline Soto and the man named in the arrest affidavit as her stepfather, 37-year-old Stefan Stearns.
Monday morning, we took her to school. We dropped her off close to school, across the street from a church, which is it's right next to the school. She crossed the street and walked to school, what we thought walked to school. My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up.
It looks pretty nice.
She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it.
And that was the last anyone's seen of her or heard from her?
Yes. I went to
Yeah,
pick
she
her up
says
after
we a lot.
school, and she wasn't there.
She wasn't there. Went to go pick her up from school. She wasn't there. The fudge. I don't know. I would just be a little more panicked. Okay.
L. Crozan, a psychologist, former law enforcement, now faculty at St. Leo University, at drjory.com. Dr. Jory, thank you for being with us. People may say, how could the mom not know that there was a sex predator in her home, that she was allowing access to her child? But I see it happen all the times, and I believe the mother. I don't think she had any idea what was going on. From what I can tell, Hannah McKenzie, jump in if I'm wrong. Dr. Jory, I don't think she had any idea what was happening.
I could go with that also.
Best day
'Cause,
ever.
you know, I've had patients in child abuse cases where the mother didn't know what was going on because of the relationship with the live-in or the boyfriend being such a convincing type person. I mean, that's all part of their personality. That's part of that show that they play. You know, that's who they are in that grooming process. It's an art form that's well learned. One of the points about her making a comment wanting to go live in the woods, you know, I find that really kind of disturbing and interesting. And, you know, we work these with timelines. And I first thing I would want to find out is when did she make that comment and who did she make it to? And I bet, you know, you could correlate possibly the start of any kind of sexual activity or abuse with that, because that's really an escape phrase. You know, I want to get out of here. I want to just go live in the woods.
I've never heard that term before, an escape phrase. And you're hearing Dr. Jordy L. Crossan, and now to an expert on grooming, Anna Soto, joining us. And Dr. Jordy, jump in if you have a different idea, as well as to you, Hannah McKenzie. Guys, we're trying to find a little 13-year-old girl. She just turned 13. She's really, as Anna pointed out earlier, she's still really 12. She just turned 13 a couple of days ago. And she kept saying, when I turn 13, I'm going to leave everything behind. I'm going to go live alone in the woods. Why? What girl says that? Anna Soto, joining us, author of Duck, Duck, Groom, Understanding How a Child Becomes a Target. I was thinking you may not recognize what's going on because your boyfriend or your husband is a predator, but would you recognize signs in your child? Or if it's a teenage girl in this case, would you think, oh, she's just slamming her door and locking her door to her bedroom because she's a teen. She's having mood swings, blah, blah, blah. And I want to circle back to this, Hannah McKenzie. I wonder if they didn't immediately come to the scene because they discounted her as a runaway. Just a thought. But I want to address this, Anna Soto, the idea that her behavior was discounted because, oh, she's just a teen. This is the way they behave with mood swings.
Yeah, Nancy, you've brought up so many interesting points. And I want to first begin by saying that over 90% of all sexual crimes occurs by somebody who is known and trusted. Stranger danger is a complete fib. And what we need to remember in this case is that the home is the highest risk setting for any child. So if we already have proof of sexual battery by this individual that occurred in her home in Kissimmee, my alert bells are already on. One thing I need your audience to remember is that children who live with a single parent who is dating are 20 times more likely to be sexually abused than a child who is living with two biological parents. So Maddie is already high risk for a situation involving child sexual abuse. Can
you give me that figure again, please?
Yes, ma'am. So children who are living at home with a single dating parent are 20 times more likely to be sexually abused than a child who's living at home with two biological parents.
Wow, 20%. It's a higher risk, 20%. Single mothers that are dating, 20% higher that they are going to find someone like him.
I would also add to that the lethality in that relationship of a live-in is very high. That's a risk factor too of not only sexual assault or battery, but the lethality.
Let me understand what's happening. Hannah McKenzie joining us. This idea of her going to, quote, live in the woods was also on her phone. The police found that. How was the mom responding to all of this?
Well, Nancy, at first, the family told me that that was taken out of context. They did say that it was a conversation between Maddie and one of her friends, and they had been discussing the state of the world, and they said if World War III comes, that was their plan to get away. But I do think the reason that they wanted to get out in front of that text message, because that's what grabbed all the headlines, right? Immediately, when you hear that, you think runaway. And that's what you brought up, Nancy. I think the family was so fearful that law enforcement and everybody else was just going to cast judgment that this was just a runaway. And they wanted all eyes on Maddie's disappearance because they truly believe she did not run away and she was taken and something nefarious has happened.
I'm just curious how much time they wasted, Jarrett Fiorentino, thinking that Maddie was a runaway. Her mother has stated that she has never run away from home before. Not once, not ever.
Those are precious moments, as you well know, in the initial stages of the investigation. And although everyone claims they treat a runaway missing child the same as if they believe someone has been harmed, they don't. I mean, this was a very pressing situation. This was not a child who wandered off into the woods. And that sentiment could have thrown off the early stages of the search for Maddie
I'm trying to figure out how much time they actually lost, and we know because the school claims they did a robocall to the parents. We've lost several hours. Question, Hannah McKenzie, is the boyfriend now behind bars in custody on sex battery and possession of material related to child sex abuse? Is he saying anything at all about where Maddie may be?
From this point, we don't know if he's cooperating with law enforcement. The last update that we got from them, they had mentioned that he had invoked his right to an attorney and was placed under arrest. That
kind of reminds me like of Audrey Cunningham's case where, you know, Stephen, he's just freaking like letting it all be. He's buck wild over there. He's naked, trying to go to court and in the naked, in the nude. He did go to court like that. Cops came in to get him. He's naked. He's not saying nothing, but he's just being naked, acting crazy. This guy's just being silent, not saying a word
that
that we know of.
Is a red flag saying he is not speaking until he has someone present.
Unless this is part of something a lot bigger and he could throw someone under the bus, I don't see him getting out of this. Like, you know what I mean? Not like he would get out of all of it anyway, but I don't see him getting a lesser charge.
And legally representing him.
I understand that grainy video surveillance, which may be the most important clue we've got yet, and I assume that police are combing through his vehicle with a fine-tooth comb right now. But that grainy surveillance, isn't it around 8:50 a.m. in the morning, and doesn't it last for about 10 minutes? Do you believe that Maddie appears to be sitting in the parking lot as if she's waiting for someone?
I'm actually not too sure about the details of that surveillance video taken from the church. Maddie's mom, Jen, told me she wasn't even allowed to see it. She did tell me her sister had seen it. And then it seems like law enforcement took a little bit of a back step and said, well, it's very grainy. We haven't even been able to prove without a reasonable doubt that it is Maddie. And that is when he mentioned that there was other video taken from the area as well.
Based on that grainy surveillance video that occurred around 8:50 a.m. on the morning of February 26th, it appears, according to a family friend, that it is Madeline, and she appears to be sitting there as if she was told to wait, like she's waiting on someone. Now, I don't know how much you can glean, how you can determine that from surveillance video, but that's what was stated by a family friend. What more can you tell me about the relationship between the mom and the boyfriend?
Well, Nancy, it is interesting that sometimes Stefan Stearns is referred to as boyfriend. Other times he is ex-boyfriend. When I spoke with Maddie's mom, Jen, we did that initial interview, and it was via Zoom. The entire time, Stefan Stearns is in the background. He's sitting just behind Jen, and he makes his appearance known. He comes in during the interview, drops a chair quite loudly, and then sits just behind Jen, staring into the camera, popping his knuckles, audibly cracking his hands, and fidgeting the entire time she's talking to me.
If anyone did that while I was talking about my daughter, I would be so mad.
Non-verbal messages, but Jarrett Fiorentino, you and I have tried enough cases to know what that means. It's intimidating, it's defensive, it's a power play. Like, I mean, do you see my husband running across the back of this screen behind me? No, because it has nothing to do with him. Is he back there flexing his muscles and cracking his knuckles? No. Just, I find that really bizarre.
It is bizarre, and that's not the way, whatever his intention was with that behavior, it's certainly not consistent with someone who, number one, was the last person to see this child before she went missing, and number two, someone who's concerned and wants to utilize the media to get the message out. It's somebody who, at a minimum, is trying to be intimidating or is just acting strange, not in keeping with someone who's concerned.
And Jared, let's just clear
appear to be-
something up. He can have a lawyer tell him, exercise your Fifth Amendment. After speaking to him, say, take the Fifth, don't talk. He doesn't have to talk about his child sex materials claim or his sex battery claim. But if he wants to fine Maddie, he could talk about that and waive his right to remain silent on that issue alone, couldn't he?
He certainly can. And it looks like the police gave him the opportunity to do just that. And they said he denied them the opportunity to bring closure and find Maddie. That statement has come out. So it appears that they've even given him that narrow road to say, help us find her, clear up this disappearance. And he's invoked his right to counsel. And you know as well as I do, no one's going to advise that he come in and come clean.
Hannah McKenzie, I'm not sure about this, but I'm getting the idea that what you're telling me, or what this means, is that there is surveillance video from other cameras, business or residential, that suggests that was not Maddie in the parking lot.
Well, it's unclear because initially family had said there was video of Maddie taken from surveillance video from the church near where she was dropped off. The sheriff's office came back after and said, well, it's very grainy and we haven't for sure ruled out that that is her or not. But he did also mention, Sheriff Mina also mentioned in his press conference that there was other video taken from the area. And I think that's just standard protocol when it comes into play. I mean, they're going to go to every business, every camera that they can find in that vicinity to
I
try
understand
and
that,
track.
but my point is, jumping ahead, does the other video from the area corroborate that she was ever in the boyfriend's vehicle, that he ever dropped her off, or did they just keep going? Is that why the dogs aren't picking up a scent? Because I trust the bloodhounds. If they're not picking up a scent, then there's something wrong with the story. What is wrong with the story? I don't know. Does that video suggest that was another girl in the parking lot?
I agree with you. And I think only
Chris
Nancy,
McDonough,
that's a
is that
great
you?
point
Jump in.
because- Yes, ma'am. That's a great point, because that would be the pivotal moment that the electronic shift would have occurred in terms of the investigation. If in fact they have the video and they're not seeing, the young lady sitting, then if they see the car go by, immediately they're going to start looking for that digital footprint. And that's probably, they downloaded it in a program called Celebrite, and you can get pictures and everything almost immediately. And that's probably what turned their head towards this guy and said, hey, wait a minute.
Reminds me, I'm glad you said that. Hannah McKenzie, what's the make and model of his car?
I'm not for sure. I was told by Maddie's aunt that it was an older model Buick. That's what she believes.
It's a Lincoln.
The reason I'm disappointed is because if it were
MKZ or something,
a more recent version, I would know that there was a navigational equipment in the car. So there would be a way for that car to be tracked. That said, if he kept a cell phone with him, which I predict that he did, we would be able to ping and track that cell phone to find out where he had been in that vehicle. The car is being processed to find out if Maddie was harmed in that vehicle. Is somebody jumping in? If so, do it now.
Nancy, it's Jarrett. Absolutely. That's going to be a huge piece. His comings and goings, the police have his phone. That's where they found the child abuse materials. So they're going to be able to trace, number one, if he did in fact drop Maddie off, or where in any of the surrounding areas he may have gone with her or taken her, could have left her, her body, God forbid. But that's really going to be where the investigation is at right now.
If you know or think you know anything about the disappearance of this 13-year-old little girl, Madeline Soto, please call 407-254-7000. We are waiting for the make and model of the boyfriend's.
Good.
Birthday was February 20. We are
Thank you, Casey. Thanks, Cheryl. I said, oh, I heard that too, R-Whip. Sorry about that. Thanks, guys. Sorry about that. I thought I hit the volume button. But yeah, I heard that he also had a page on Reddit where he gave teens advice. I heard that also today. Crazy. I wonder what his name was on the Reddit so I could look it up. I was listening into the live when I heard it. But then I was like, I heard it on a different channel. I think it was called Into Gray Hughes' channel, but I heard it on a different channel. Who said that, Christine? Another one for the bloopers. Truth and Justice. I swear, Isabel's going to learn how to make a bloopers video. She's going to make one for me because she's been saying it for a year. But yeah, so they're saying on here that he had, images digitally appears. So he had images, video of somebody or someone's, somebody's in his phone, and he started recording these, they're saying, on March 20th, 2022, and they didn't end until December 3rd, 2023. So almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. If that's true, and these are her, that would make her like 10 years old. She just turned 13. Maybe 11. Oh. It's just crazy. He's a sicko, yeah. This is all sick, yeah. I mean, you guys heard the PCA. I had to summarize it for you guys. And if you weren't here for it, I mean, I really did have to summarize it for you guys. But JLR did come out and say that he just said another person is claiming Stefan Stearns worked at Disney. Stearns just arrested for having child pee on his phone and is the prime suspect in the M of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. And the person here, it says, I'll just read you the post. We'll look at the post. It says from Shannon Bash. I don't know if this is legit, but this is what came out. I cut his hair for the past couple years. He had me fooled. I'm disgusted. He had a very childlike demeanor to him. Doesn't look like that to me. He had just recently started working for Disney when I first started cutting his hair. He was so excited about the ride he was working and talked about bringing her to Disney often. I'm sick over this. You never know who you're dealing with. He truly covered up his evil so well. Yeah. Working at the Disney. Working at the damn Disney. Isn't that gross? Isn't that gross? Okay, so if you guys don't mind just taking a second and hit that poll, look at that poll, check out that poll and vote on it. It looks like we're going to cover Elijah tonight. So we're going to be here for a little while. I mean, do about 2 hours, 2.5 hours probably. It's been a long time since we did a long live, so we'll do one. It is, yeah, you're right, Monica. It is something like, but who commented on her looks? I didn't. Yeah, I don't know who did that. Did I do that? Can you imagine how many people? Yeah, I think that there's a lot that works there. You all know how I feel about mascots. I said it on the live, so crazy. Okay, so thank you guys for voting on the poll. I'm going to go ahead. I'll close the poll out in just a second. I appreciate you guys voting on it. Really helps me have a decision. So we can probably sit on this case all night and talk all night about Madeline. I swear we could. But Michelle, that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Elijah. There's not like a whole lot out, I feel like, update wise, but we will definitely look and everything. Now we all know that his mom, mom and trying to think, I can't say the A word. I'm trying to think of another word. What would they call him? The Punisher. They're in jail right now. Let me see here. Actually, I have a thing to read you, but let me see here. When this little boy came up on my, I think it was Twitter or something. I couldn't handle it. I was like, he is just adorable. We got to cover this case. But let me see here. So tonight we're going to cover just this video here since we just covered the one for Madeline. And we'll talk about Madeline still here in between. But Nancy Grace did one for Elijah Vue, and he's the 3-year-old that's missing out of Two Rivers, Wisconsin. He's been missing for, I believe now 13 days. So he's been not found. He's not found. So apparently the guy that he was with said, he went to sleep around 8:30 in the morning, and he thinks that Elijah walked out the door and just peaced out. Now, I don't know any 3-year-old that's going to do that. I mean, they might go outside, but I mean, they're not going to stay out very long, and they're going to be found. They'll be found. Let me see what this is. So yeah, so the mom was sending Elijah to Jesse Vang for punishment and disciplinary issues. He was apparently, this little boy was having he needed disciplinary. He needed some discipline in his life. This 3-year-old little cute little boy. Let's read over this article though. It'll kind of tell us a little bit, more about the case. And, we've been covering this case on the channel for, how long has it been? A few days now, 13 days. Sorry, 14 days we've been covering this. So hopefully they'll find Elijah. I don't know where he could possibly be. I really don't know. It's really terrible. So maybe we'll read this one instead. I think everyone knows about the case. So I think this one kind of told us more about. Okay, actually we'll go with this one. And it's weird that I have independent on both of these. If you guys will notice, you'll never see any ads on my web pages, which is nice. It's a nice thing for you guys. Don't have to look at all that mess. You won't see where I'm shopping. An Amber Alert went out in the Wisconsin town of Two Rivers, warning that a little boy had gone missing and police needed the community's help. If anybody's been around for any amount of time on YouTube, I'm sure you've heard or the case of Quentin Simon. This gives me, sorry, I thought I was on screen. This gives me Quentin Simon vibes like no other. This really does. Now they're saying the mom wasn't in town, but then she lied about that. She said she was out of town for Valentine's Day. And I said, no, she wasn't. And then we read a little bit further and they said she wasn't. She had lied. She lied to them twice. So they're asking for the community's help. Over a week from the 20th February alert, the town is still searching for Elijah Vue, while his mother and male acquaintance are in jail facing child neglect charges. They can only charge him with so much. It's just crazy. Here's everything that we know so far about the case. And it's not a whole lot. I feel like we learned a little bit though in the PCA. 3-year-old Elijah Vue was last seen at around 8 a.m. on 20th of February on the 3900 block of Mishicot Road in Two Rivers, a town on the shore of Lake Michigan in Wisconsin. Two Rivers Police Department said they received a call at 10:59 a.m. from the adult caregiver, believed to be his mom's partner, Jesse Vang, reporting the boy as missing. Elijah from Wisconsin Dells, around 150 miles away, had been sent by his mother, Katrina Barr, to stay with Mr. Vang for disciplinary reasons. Two Rivers Authority said, your mother sending you there. He made him stand there for hours on end. I can't even do that. 3 years old, the things he had him do. He was drinking out of a bottle still, being bottle fed. Now, I don't see anything wrong with drinking out of a bottle at 3. If you want to drink out of your little bottle, when you're sleeping, getting ready for bed, do you, boo. But only giving him a bottle and a little bit of food here and there, I'm surprised he's as big as he is. How the hell is he as big as he is? How's he 45 pounds? I don't know. He must have been sneaking food or something, because he should be very malnourished. I'm sure he is, because I'm sure the food they fed him wasn't probably had no nutritional value. But she sent him there for disciplinary reasons. In court documents, police said that Miss Barr told them that she had sent her son to Mr. Vang so he could teach the boy how to be a man. Oh, no, he wasn't potty trained. Lynn, yeah, he wasn't potty trained either. Yeah. It's crazy. He only changed his diaper once a day. Once a day. He would change his diaper once a day. That was it. That's all you get. Can you imagine? Hey, Denny, welcome in. You know, like literally, imagine having to wear the same diaper all day if you had to do that. Couldn't imagine. Mr. Vang allegedly used tactics, including timeouts where Elijah had to stand up for 1 to 3 hours or was forced to take cold showers. Investigators urged the public to be on lookout for the little boy who was described as being Hmong with white ethnicity, about 3 feet tall and having brown hair and brown eyes. He has a birthmark on his left knee. Police are also looking for signs of his red and white plaid blanket, which he may have been carrying around that morning. And if that's like his blankie, you know, like he kept it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he would put that down. I don't think that he would, if he did walk out of the house, which I don't think he did. What are the chances that this little boy walked out of the house, right? And as soon as he walks out of the house, somebody comes and kidnaps him. Somebody just happened to be right there. Like, I'm going to kidnap that little boy. I don't think so. I don't think that's the way this works. One day after Elijah's disappearance, his mom, Katrina Burr, 31, was arrested and charged with party to a crime, child neglect. She is being held on a $15,000 cash bond, but has since asked to have that revoked to allow her to go free on the promise she will return to court on request. She won't. She's already lied to the cops a couple times. She ain't going to go back. She gets out of jail, she's going to run. I guarantee you me. She was going to run as fast as she can. And most likely it'd probably be Canada. Cheryl, watch out for her. She was hit with 2 further charges. Oh, wait, sorry. She reportedly changed her story on her whereabouts at least twice while being interviewed by investigators. She was hit with 2 further charges of obstruction on Monday, 26th of February. They ain't messing around. They didn't even give her like a warning. Usually they'll give you a warning. They were messing with her. One time daily for diaper. You don't need that moment. That diaper rash. Oh my Lord. Oh, I'm sure Nancy's going to be on fire with this one. I haven't watched him yet. I'll watch him with you guys. I usually listen to the podcast before and then watch the video to get her reaction with you guys. But I actually haven't watched this one. So it's probably going to be pretty good. Jesse Vang was also arrested a few hours after Elijah's disappeared and was charged with child neglect. He reportedly has a history of other criminal offenses, including child A, and is being held on a $20,000 bond. And we went through all of his old charges. I actually still have the webpage up right now, right here. Neglecting a child, party to a crime. He's on my radar. I've been refreshing it, see if there's any more charges on there. The pair have so far appeared in court twice, on February 23rd and Monday, 26th February. They are next due in court on March 7th. I'm going to write that down real quick because, there's so many cases. March 7th, Jesse. Sorry, guys. If I don't write it down, I'll forget. I'm so bad about that. If you guys haven't seen these 2 freaking fools, that's them. She looks like she needs healing and put in her head. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I'll make fun of her all day. Let me get her up here better for you guys. Oops, not that one. Oh, yeah, this one. There we go. Oh, let me see. Is that one there for you guys? Okay. I'm going to actually exit out of a couple of these while we're chit-chatting. Because I have like so many different tabs up here. And I don't want to get lost. Yeah, that's them. He looks like he's tough. 920 on his neck is actually a GANG. I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube. In that area. And it's an Asian GANG. So pretty sure that's why he's got the neck tat. Beautiful. Whoever did that, they did a great job. Great job. Now, Nancy looks pissed. I wish I could change my Nancy cardboard cutout to like somebody that was mad. I wish she wasn't smiling sometimes. I wish she was like mad. Maybe I should put a mask on her. Oh, is it the area code Truth and Justice? Yeah, I just know that there's a I looked up like all of those affiliates and like a big document for that whole state. There's a bunch of different ones. But that one isn't a big one. It only had like a sentence in there about him. Yeah, Julie Hutcher, look at that creep. Think of him trying to discipline that little boy. Yeah, that would be terrifying. Terrifying. 3 years old. What the hell can a 3-year-old do to make you so mad that you are going to make him stand for 1 to 3 hours, put him in a cold shower? What? It's crazy to me. Let's see here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll play this, Nancy. If you guys don't mind taking a second to hit the like button. I've only asked you a couple times. Yeah, he's like Hmong, and I think maybe he's Hmong, and maybe he's not all the way like 100% Hmong, but he looks like it. He doesn't look like he's half to me at all. Where's this picture? Because they were calling Elijah, they were saying that he was white at first, and I was like, no, he's not. I was like, he's mixed, because I mean, as soon as we saw the picture, he looked straight Hmong to me. I mean, but maybe he's something else. Well, her name might not be. Well, no, her name would be too. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder what Vincent's mom's maiden name is. I've asked him before and he's never told me. We don't even do that to prisoners, do we? Wiss, that's the best comment of the night. Cruel. Yep. Yeah, he is Asian in jail. You're right. Truth and Justice. I remember hearing that. She looks evil to me. She looks mad. She looks like she's got places to go. She don't need to be taking her picture. Ooh, speaking of jail shots, don't let me forget. I meant to show you in the beginning of the live. I have a picture of Ruby Frank and Jody Hildebrandt going into prison, like their prison shots, and Ruby's actually grinning in it. Y'all, she's grinning. Soulshine, welcome in. Hey, Angela. Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so we will go over to Nancy. She looks really pissed, y'all. Actually, let me go back. Why'd I do that?
Boy.
Whoops. I wanted to see what it said down here. It just says about the case. Elijah Vue, 3, has been missing now for 8 days, but now it's 13. The toddler was last seen at the home of her mother's boyfriend, Jesse Vang, which I don't think it's her boyfriend. I don't know if it's her boy. I'm thinking it's her boyfriend, but I don't know if it's her boyfriend or if it's a friend, but I'm leaning more on the side that she might have been still talking to her ex and when he's in jail, and maybe she's doing stuff with this guy. They're both Hmong ethnicity. I don't know if that means anything, if they're the same gang or anything, but I said the word. Oops, sorry, YouTube. The toddler was last seen at the home. I'm sorry. The day after Vue vanished, Vang said he was disciplining the boy, ordering him to stand next to Vang's bed and pray. Vang fell asleep 3 hours later. When Vang woke up, the boy was gone. Why would you ever tell the police that? If I was doing that to a kid, right? Let's say I was doing that to a kid. 1,000%, I would be saying he walked out of the house. I would completely leave that out of the story and out. You know what I mean? Like, why would you bring that in? I've heard that too, Sue, that respect is a big deal and family and stuff. My boyfriend's half Japanese, so I was like asking him questions because I didn't know if he knew, but he really didn't know a whole lot about it. Hey, Jersey, welcome in. Let me see. Wonder if we can get a better picture of his tattoo. I don't think there is a better picture of it, but I'll look for one. Let me go ahead and I'll play Nancy here. Thank you guys all for being here tonight. I appreciate it.
Just 3 years old.
And this is for Elijah Vue, just in case anybody's coming in a little bit late.
Is missing. Have you seen a photo of 3-year-old Elijah Vue?
He's cute.
Because I can't get that photo, that little face looking at me out of my head. Somewhere out there, I'm looking at him right now. This little boy is waiting for us
Oh,
to
she got a whole
find
panel.
him. Is he dead? Is he alive?
Oh my goodness. Look at that. I've never seen that picture. Have you guys seen this picture? He is adorable. Adorable. Oh, yeah, they will. One bad boy. Yep. Or bad day, bad boy. I said bad. Maybe we should change her name. But yeah, no, they will. They'll catalog all of his tattoos. But this little boy is adorable.
Is he alone? Where is Elijah Vue? Now, this
He
is
didn't
what I
deserve
know
him.
so far. This little missing Wisconsin boy, Elijah, his mom says he was a, quote, disciplinary problem. Well, I think she's the disciplinary
Look at
problem.
him.
This woman.
Okay, that
Oh,
doesn't even
dear
look like
Lord in
her.
heaven. Why'd
That does not look like the girl that's sitting in jail right now.
you have to show me
She
that
fooling.
photo? Look at that little angel. Look at him. This little boy was sent away to a, quote, boot
I
camp
wonder where they
to,
got all these
quote,
pictures.
teach
Maybe the
him
aunt.
to be a man, where he would have to stand in the
I'm sorry, but I bet his Aunt Linda gave him these pictures.
corner for hours on end without being allowed to sit down and repeat over and over, I'm sorry, Mommy. I'm sorry, Mommy. I'm sorry, Mommy. I'm sorry, Mommy. If I could get my hands around this woman's neck, I would definitely be charged with murder one. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. Where is he? Mommy was known to send him away just to get away from her own son. First of all, I want you to hear what we know right now from the police chief. Listen.
This child was 3 years old and was reported missing on a cold winter temperature day with only a blanket and possibly light clothing. And we knew at that time, possibly 3 to 4 hours. I define that as endangered. I immediately reached out with the assistance of my staff to the Division of Criminal Investigation. This is not about me. This has always been about bringing Elijah home, and quickly. They led that investigation into his whereabouts with the support of our FBI. We also utilized almost any boat, UTV, drone, canine, and even National Guard helicopters to search for Elijah. Unfortunately, Elijah wasn't found.
With me an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. But first to Aisha Morales, joining us, WBAY-TV2 out of Green Bay. Aisha, thank you for being with us. I want to talk about, first of all, when did he go missing, and when was he reported missing? What do we know, Aisha? Because those two moments in time could be very, very different.
Yeah, so initially when we got these reports, we were learning that it was February 20th, so a week ago, yesterday, February 20th. From what we know now with the criminal complaints, there is a discrepancy, and we reported on that here in Green Bay and talking about how Vang initially told police that he went missing around 11 a.m. on February 20th. And then the story did change a little bit, and now we know that he actually went missing around 8 a.m. And as you know, any minute a child is gone, it matters. And so there was that first discrepancy with regards to the time that he disappeared, or at least the time that he was reported missing by Vang himself.
Hold on. So one report, he was missing, he was gone at 8 a.m. on Feb 20. What was the other time? I didn't get that. When was that?
11 a.m. was the initial report.
Feb 20 is a Tuesday. I'm trying to figure out. So there's a big discrepancy between 11 a.m. and 8 a.m. And a lot of people may think, oh, that's just 4 hours. Let me tell you something. Somebody driving 60 miles an hour times 4, that's 240 miles. before he's reported missing. And I've got another problem with that. Let me go out to Thomas E. Fisher joining us, former Milwaukee PD police detective, now owner of ThomasFisherInvestigations.com. Thomas, thank you for being with us. I have a problem with that because I can tell you right now what time my children wake up in the morning. My daughter gets up at 6:05 a.m. My son gets up at 7:05 a.m. And I know they're up because I go and check on them. So how can you, at the best, Thomas Fisher, how can you not know where your child is for 4 hours between 3 hours between 8 and 11 if they're in the home? Right there, I got a problem.
That's a very good point. Basically, you have somebody that was not watching this child or transported this child someplace else. Based on what we know and what the investigation has revealed to date is that he was disciplined that should not be given to a 3-year-old.
Well, Thomas Fisher, you are the former Milwaukee police detective, and you are the owner of, let me say, a highly successful private investigative firm, but you left out another glaring possibility. They're lying. You said either they weren't watching them or something about the time discrepancy, or they're lying. And can I just point out to you, Daryl Cohen, jumping off what Fisher...
Sorry to pause a bit. He either got out the door, which I highly, highly doubt it, or Jesse Vang did something to that little boy. Whether he gave him too much like cold medicine to make him sleep or something else, like something that he shouldn't have gave him, like to maybe calm him down and make him sleep so he could sleep. Or if he got so angry at him because he was trying to discipline him and make him become a man. And I'm sure a 3-year-old can't just become a man all of a sudden. And I'm sure Jesse Vang is not a patient person, because like a 3-year-old, it's going to take about 15 years or so before they become a man. That's just life. But maybe he just I'm thinking he snapped. I think he snapped. And I think he called Katrina and he said, hey, this is what happened. And I think Jesse got rid of him somehow. Now, I don't know if that was if he disposed of him in the garbage or what, but that's what they're checking. They're checking landfills. They're checking everywhere. Yeah, they were doing drugs or something. Yeah, they were doing the rugs.
Just said, you're the former prosecutor.
That's probably how they made money, I would say.
Veteran defense attorney. Daryl Cohen, what do you do? How do you explain that to a jury, if there ever is one, how you weren't watching your child in your own home? I mean, it's not that hard in your own home to know where your child is for 3 hours. Coincidentally, on the very day he goes missing, a 3-year-old shouldn't be out of your sight, Daryl.
Nancy, at the age of 3, he or she, in this case he, doesn't have to be out of your sight for you to know where he is, because you hear the noises that he's making, the absolute chaos that comes with a 3-year-old. So you don't explain that to a jury. You have to keep your damn big mouth shut and not say anything. But it's really sad that he has disappeared, and we hope that he'll be located alive and located okay. There's no excuse for parenting the way she was trying to do it. It's non-parenting. It's prosecutable non-parenting. You don't have to see your child. Just because you think your child's in the house doesn't mean he is in the house. You can be in the kitchen. He may or may not be in his bedroom. You don't have to look at him all of the time. You don't have to hear him all of the time. You don't have to be with him all of the time. And
who's he saying that to? If I had a 3-year-old and I couldn't hear him playing, if there was silence, that 3-year-old has gotten into something. He's getting into something, or he's gone, or something's going on. If kids all of a sudden get quiet, that's when you know something's up.
Suddenly, when you go look for him, he's not there. That's reasonable. That's
adorable.
Explainable. It's something that you have.
That's not explainable.
Yeah.
Daryl Cohen, where exactly did you go to law school?
I think the same
I
place
think
you
Nancy's
did.
my
And
spirit
that's
animal.
probably in Macon, Georgia.
Mercer and NYU, because obviously you didn't get the class on BS, technical legal term. Good luck telling that to a jury. You don't have to see your child to know that he's okay. N-O. You know, it's a miracle. I've met your daughter's just beautiful. It's a miracle they grew up safe and sound and apparently sane when daddy didn't know where they were half the time. Let's get back on this case. I'm wandering far afield. I want to hear more of what the police have to say about their search efforts. And think about it. A 3-year-old little boy, Aisha Morales, WBAY, and Thomas Fisher joining us out of Milwaukee. What were the temperatures around this time? Feb 20, Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. or
It has to be
11, depending on
cold.
what the parents feel like saying at that moment. But what was the temp? How cold is it there?
Hold up a second. Hold up a darn second. They said he was wearing shoes. Remember dinosaur shoes? Why would he have on shoes if him and Jesse were supposed to be laying down in the bed, going to sleep at 8:30 in the morning? Why would he be wearing his dinosaur shoes? Unless he puts them on to go outside. No. I don't think a 3-year-old would be like, oh, let me put my shoes on first. Maybe. I don't know.
It depends on
Well,
what
I
day it
remember
is.
actually
Yesterday.
that morning.
No
It
kids
was
like to
it
wear
was a
shoes.
Go ahead,
mild day
Aisha.
Sure, it was a mild day actually in comparison to other February days. We do remember that, but we also know that he is 45 pounds or so. So anything below 50 degrees, 40 degrees, even though it's mild for Wisconsin standards, it was still pretty chilly. You would need a jacket or at least a coat, and he didn't, from what I understand, didn't have that.
Okay, wait a minute. You call 30 degrees mild?
We do here in Wisconsin.
Okay, I
Us
understand
too,
that.
if
Where
the
I'm
sun's out.
from, that is like
Sun's out, guns out.
you're in the Antarctic at 30 degrees. Oh, okay. So for me, 30 degrees is cold. And I'm wondering how that would have affected this child hypothermia wise. But I'm opening up a whole nother can of worms. Let's get back to the search. Listen again to Police Chief Ben Meinhardt.
Those leads, those investigations, everything we've taken as tips have led to searching our neighborhoods, searching all our waterways, aerial and foot canvases, both urban and rural, throughout Manitowoc County and even beyond. We've searched Wisconsin landfills and quarries, and we've even had additional leads in Wisconsin Dells. In addition to all those search efforts, I am aware of other investigations taking place. I can confirm Elijah's mother, Katrina Bauer, is in jail on charges of child neglect and obstructing. Katrina's boyfriend, Jesse Bang, is in jail on charges of child neglect. And I do know that Elijah's father has also been incarcerated at Oshkosh Correctional Institute in unrelated matters since 2023.
Did this kid ever have a chance? That's what I'm
Not
trying
one.
to figure out. Elijah Vue, 3 years old, last seen Feb 20, after being sent to a quote boot camp to be disciplined by his mom's boyfriend. Last
He's
seen
so
wearing gray
cute.
pants, dark colored long sleeve shirt, red and green dinosaur slip on shoes, may have his red and white plaid blanket. That's a blanket he's had since he was a little baby. I've seen him in photos holding the blanket up to
Where
his
is it?
face. You're
Oh, there
looking
it
at
is.
Elijah Vue. There he is with the plaid blanket. That's what he had with
I'll
him.
check, baby
And
girl.
I guarantee you, when this child is found alive or dead, he's going to have that blanket with him. And I want to point out to our guests, I don't know if you remember this, joining me is Mike Hadsell, president founder of
No.
Peace River Canine Search and Rescue. Do you remember when
It says here, baby girl asked in the chat if Wisconsin had the DP, and I just looked it up. It says no, Wisconsin does not have the death penalty for M and other serious crimes. Wisconsin is one of only 12 states that have not abolished the death penalty. So, yeah, that's what it would be like.
Kelly Anthony was found? She was murdered by her mother, tot mom Casey Anthony. She was
Nancy covered that
wrapped
good.
in
Wow,
her
very well.
favorite, I believe it was a Disney princess, could have been a Winnie the Pooh blanket. She had that with her. And you know what that's a sign of, Mike Hadsell? That someone connected to the child killed and buried, disposed of the child, because the child has a personal belonging with the child when it is discarded or disposed. Mike Hadsell, what should the search be encompassing? This is cold. It's in Two Rivers, Wisconsin. There's bodies of water. You hear that they're out, boots on the ground. They've been walking the neighborhoods.
Can
They've
we
searched the
get rid of
waterways.
that
I don't
saying
know to
boots on
what
the ground?
extent. Have they used sonar? Have they used divers? To me, waterways or a forest would be an obvious choice to dispose of a child. I'm still praying he's alive. Mike Hadsell, where is he?
Well, you have two options on this. So we have to, one, assume that he's alive and he ran away. So if he did that, children of that age don't wander far from home. They just want to get out of sight because they want to scare the parent and, shake things up. And so usually we find them within a half a mile of the house, usually near a structure, another apartment building or sheds, things like that. That's usually where we locate them because you got to try to stay warm. On the other side, if something nefarious happened and the child was murdered or died for some reason, they decided to dispose of the remains, he's going to be, oh gosh, where are you going to start? I mean, there's so much wooded area around there. There's a lot of rivers. The easiest disposal, of course, would be in the rivers. One of the disturbing facts that came up was the shoe that was found in one of the dumpsters that they say may belong to the child, which I do believe led to the landfill search that they were working on. If that's happened, then they're going to have to move quickly because the remains won't last long in that landfill.
Mike Hadsell, everything you said is perfectly correct, but horrible. Aisha Morales, WBAY TV2, please tell me about the landfill search.
Sure. So as soon as they were told that the shoe, like you said, the shoe was there that was found, they initiated that landfill search. I remember that day, and our partner station in Milwaukee was able to get aerial shots of that. They had they had people searching.
He's in a donut.
Investigators there. It didn't seem to amount to much. We haven't actually spoken about the landfill search since that day last week. It's been nothing but people, the community searching. But as far as the landfill, we have not heard anything about what they possibly found, if they continue to search. But even after a day, it was kind of quiet at the landfill.
To you, Aisha Morales, WBAY TV2, where is that landfill as it relates to where the boyfriend was keeping Elijah?
It shouldn't be too far away. I think it's within the same hour or so for the county. But that's just it. There could be multiple landfills too. I know that some people were mentioning that trash day, so that was a concern. The thing is that there is a lot of information that leads to some of these searches, and the landfill included in that. So I was seeing in a group on Facebook that a lot of people were chatting about the shoe, were chatting about trash day, and a lot of those tips led to the landfill search, but it's not too far from that area.
Hold that what you've got up on the screen right now. Good Lord in heaven. I take it that this is the so-called boyfriend. Is this, am I looking at the boyfriend here, Jesse Vang? Because look, if I am, I can tell you right now, those aren't glamour shots at the mall. These are shots that go way, way back, and they're all
wow. Look at
shots.
these. Would you look at
Why
that?
in
Okay,
the
we're gonna look at these again. Oh my Lord, have mercy, Nancy. You went too quick. Oh, she's got them all up here. He's got a lot. Okay, where are we at?
Chatting about the thing is that there is a lot of information.
Wow. Would you look at those? He's got a whole slew. I'm putting the number in the chat too if you have any information. Don't you, Otto? Isn't he the most adorable little baby you've ever seen? I think that he is the cutest thing ever. Makes me want to have a baby. I keep looking at Vincent, side-eyeing him now. I'm like, ooh, what would our baby look like? But no, so this guy's been around a time or two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Well, he's on his 15th shot. Maybe 15 is a charm.
That leads to some of these searches and landfill, the landfill included in that. So I was seeing in a group on Facebook that a lot of people.
Like, sorry to put these, or sorry to pause, but this first one, these first top ones, like he was real young.
We're chatting about this shoe. We're chatting about
And he still had his
trash day,
eyebrows.
and a lot of those tips led to the landfill search, but it's not too far from that area.
Hold that what you've got up on the screen right now. Good Lord in heaven. I take it that this is the so-called boyfriend. Is this, am I looking at the boyfriend here, Jesse Vang? Because look, if I am, I can tell you right now, those aren't glamour shots at the mall. These are shots that go way, way
These
back,
are more
and they're
expensive.
all mug shots. Why in the world would a woman pick this guy with mug shots dating back for years to, quote, discipline her child?
Because the dad's in jail already. He's already in prison, so she had to find another guy.
I don't get it. Look
at that. Look at that. Look at this haircut. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm checking out. Someone explain this haircut to me. What's going on here? Did the barber forget a patch of hair on the back of his head? Oh my gosh. If anyone needs a laugh, look at the screen. This is incredible. Who did this to him? Did they not give him a mirror? You know, when you get the mirror and you look at the back of your head? Man, would you look at that? Just look at it. Oh my gosh. What's up with the hairdo?
Yes.
Oh, there it is
Aisha
again.
Morales,
Short.
what's on his rap sheet?
Now look at him. He looks mean.
There's a lot of different charges, including child abuse for sure, fleeing an officer. You guys have it.
See, I could put that on a t-shirt.
Possession of cocaine, drug, bail jumping, lots of disorderly conduct type of charges, but child abuse is on there. So that was one of the first things that we noticed as well.
Child abuse, fleeing officer, manufacturing, deliver, possession, cocaine. That's cocaine with intent to distribute. That's a major felony. Resisting an officer, possession, cocaine, resisting an officer, bail jumping, DC, and DUI. And that's who is going to take care of your child. Joining me right now, special guest from childhelp.org. If you haven't seen it or heard of it, go online. Childhelp, one word, .org. Megan Crine is joining us, Director of Communications. Megan, do you know how many millions of people would have paid $60, $70, $80, $100,000 to buy, adopt a little boy like Elijah Vue? But yet these two keep him. And did you see what they did to, quote, discipline him? Make him stand for hours on end saying, I'm sorry, mommy. I'm sorry, mommy. I'm sorry, mommy. I'm sorry, mommy. Forced to take cold showers.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I knew there was one more I was missing. He was told to apologize to his mom, saying, I'm sorry, mommy, over and over again.
Hours on
That's
end.
disgusting.
Stay in a dirty diaper.
Hey, Jacqueline.
Banned from playing with the only toy he had at Vang's house, a toolkit, because he was on, quote, extended time out. Yeah, woman, oh, dear Lord in heaven. Wait a minute. Hold on, Megan Crine. Now I'm seeing all of
Okay, I didn't watch this beforehand.
mommy's mug shots.
Look at that.
Oh, that's 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I'm sorry, but she was on something in this one because her cheeks and everything else were. Okay, hold on.
Time out.
Was it that one?
Yeah, woman. Oh, dear Lord in heaven. Wait a minute. Hold on, Megan crying. Now I'm seeing all of mommy's mug shots.
This one here. Doesn't her cheeks like she looks like she had that surgery that all of the celebrities are having right now. I forget what it's called, but they're like putting their cheeks in, their cheekbones are higher. I mean, I wouldn't ever do that. But she looks like she's on some rugs.
Oh, that's 3.
The foreign kind.
1, 2, 3.
From a,
Any,
you know,
4.
not the ones that are
Don't bother to
legal.
cry in your photo. This is on you, woman. 5 mug shots that I know of. Megan crying. I don't understand. With all of these mug shots, all of these offenses, somehow this
Yeah,
little
one
angel
bad day,
was
bad boy. I'm gonna
born.
call you that now.
And then he goes missing.
Yes, it's heartbreaking, and you wonder. We had seen those beautiful photos of Elijah. You know, it didn't seem like he was always abused, right? Like he was in that little car. He had his second birthday cake. He was well dressed. So it just wonders what happened. Was it drugs? Was it
No. I'm sorry. I rarely disagree with you, Megan crying, but I do now. Remember the Turpin family in the House of Horrors? Where the mother and father would dress them up in matching. There were like 8 or 9 of them. There were a lot of children, and they would be dressed up in matching outfits. And I mean, the whole shebang, matching t-shirts, matching bows, matching dresses, all these photos of them at Disney, at various functions. But yet when they went home, they were shackled to the bed, starved, tortured with putting food in front of them but not letting them eat. There were scratch marks on the inside of a closet bedroom door where they wanted in a closet trying to get out, put in a dark closet. They had 13 children called the House of Horrors, and they looked great on the outside.
Yeah, putting on a show for everyone else to make people think that you're a wonderful parent. And parenting is hard. And there's so many resources out there. And if you see something, if I just find it also hard to believe that nobody thought anything was going on with Elijah when he's getting shipped off to his mom's boyfriends for discipline at 3 years.
I wonder if anybody else even knew about it. Guys, we're to the point now where police are begging the public for help. Listen.
On Saturday, we announced a Crime Stoppers award of $1,000 for information leading to the location of Elijah, and have since provided other ways that people can donate here in the community or abroad. Currently, we have those established as coming to our customer service here at City Hall, our police department, and I'm also working on establishing an online route for people to do so. When that becomes available, I will reach out to everybody and let you know.
A little bit more from Chief Minor. Listen.
This child was 3 years old and was reported missing on a cold winter temperature day with only a blanket and possibly light clothing. And we knew at that time, possibly 3 to 4 hours. I define that as endangered.
You're darn right it's in danger. But now I want you to hear about what led up to the 911 missing call. Take a listen to Nicole Parton, Crime Online.
February 20, 10:59 a.m. Jesse Vane calls 911 to report the 3-year-old boy he cares for is missing. Vane says he fell asleep caring for Elijah Vue at 8 a.m. and when he woke up at just before 11 a.m., Elijah was gone. He is last seen wearing gray sweatpants, a long-sleeved dark-colored
They
shirt,
both lost their
and red
eyebrows.
and green dinosaur slip-on shoes.
Thomas E. Fisher joining me, former Milwaukee PD, now runs his own PI.
Well, it's been confirmed by the police that they did find a blue shoe that had dinosaurs on it. I can only assume it's Elijah's shoe. Now, maybe, this is just what I'm thinking. Maybe Jesse did something crazy. And I mean, just like, this is sick in a way. Maybe he kind of tossed him into the trash, into the garbage. Because I heard the day he went missing was the same day the garbage ran, but I'm not 100% on that. But if he did, maybe one of his little shoes fell off, or when he was like, this is so sick, but when he was tossing them in, maybe one of his shoes came off. He didn't see that. And then it was found. I mean, the other possibility is Elijah walked out of the house, lost his shoe, and he kept trucking it without a shoe on. And he's still out there hanging out after 13 days. I don't think so. I don't know. I wonder where he is, though, all the time.
Tom, have you ever noticed how many children just disappear while mommy or daddy's sleeping?
Yeah, that doesn't happen too often. No.
Don't they have baby
I've seen
gates?
cases like that over the years, but it's usually
you sleep when your
something
baby
else
sleeps.
that occurred. Yes.
And just think
Yeah,
about it, guys.
definitely.
Look at these mugshots. Of all the men in the world, mommy picks this guy to take care of her 3-year-old son. This guy. And since his last mugshot, what is that? Aisha Morales, WBAY. He had to put his own area code tattooed onto his neck. Is that what I'm seeing? 920?
See, she says 920.
That is, and I was doing a little bit of research looking into it.
They're saying it's 920, like I said. So it is an Ang, G-A-N-G. That's what Nancy's saying anyway. Let's take it back a minute. Because we were discussing it in the chat, and I thought it was 920, and it was a G-A-N-G affiliation in that area. That's what I read anyway. When I read through the Wisconsin G-A-N-G's website, there was like 1,000 pages, but I found it, and that's what they said anyway.
Alice, WBAY. He had to put his own area code tattooed onto his neck. Is that what I'm seeing? 920?
That is, and I was doing a little bit of research looking into it. I believe that it could be tied to some local gang. I've seen that in other mugshots before for this county. So yeah, 920 is our area code, is what he has on his neck.
Got to be gang related. Oh, he's getting better by the minute. Why this guy? Out of all the men in the universe, she picks this one to discipline her child. Okay, that said, police asking for help. Take a listen to Rachel Bonilla, Crime Online.
The search continues for Elijah Vue, with many in the public asking how a 3-year-old can leave an apartment and go missing on his own.
We should have looked to see when he got his neck tat. What year? I'll have to look back.
The local police ask for help at the state and federal level, and soon the FBI are on hand to help. Local and regional groups use
And here's a
boats to
picture
search
of it.
rivers and streams, while air searchers are conducted with drones.
I think the
Canine
caller's just
units are
blocking
brought
the
in for
9.
searches on land, but 3-year-old Elijah is still missing.
And family is pleading for help. Listen.
On behalf of my family, we stand before you today with heavy hearts burdened by an unimaginable situation. The pain is indescribable, a torment no family or child should ever face. We cannot express the depth of our sorrow, nor the desperation that consumes us as each moment passes without news of Elijah's safety. To anyone who may have information about Elijah's whereabouts, we plead with you to please come forward. Your courage, your compassion, your willingness to speak up may hold the key to Elijah's safe return.
You're hearing Elijah's aunt. It's certainly not his mother or boyfriend asking for help. Wonder why they aren't asking for him to be found. That's a whole nother can of worms. But now take a listen to what actually happened to Elijah Vue while he was at his boot camp with the convicted felon. Listen to Dave Mack, Crime Online.
Elijah's mother is 31-year-old Katrina Bauer, but she wasn't watching her son at the time he went missing. Bauer's boyfriend, 39-year-old Jesse Vang, has been taking care of the boy. Bauer says she's letting Jesse Vang discipline Elijah Vue, helping to teach him to be a man. The 3-year-old is not potty trained and still takes a bottle, but Vang puts him in timeout
Diaper.
when he disobeys an order.
Changes
Jesse
diaper
Vang
once a
explains
day.
Timeout as a time where the 3-year-old must stand in one place and repeat, "I'm sorry, mommy," or pray for 2 or 3 hours at a time.
To Daryl Cohen, former felony prosecutor, now defense attorney, joining us out of the Atlanta jurisdiction. Daryl, question to you. Do you think, just go with me on this, what's the likelihood that these two, the mommy and her convicted felon boyfriend, were torturing the boy in his boot camp disciplinary 8 days, and then somebody else came in and abducted him? Do you really think statistically that's even possible?
No, Nancy, it's not. But on the other hand, what are we talking about torture? Is it extreme discipline? Is this really torture? Do you think his mom or his quote mom's boyfriend would torture him? They were wrong in what they did, but that's not torture. And could he have
So they're
wandered
showing the
out on
pictures
his own?
again. Oh,
Of
that's her.
course he could. It happens, unfortunately, all of the time. Close your eyes, turn your head, and your child is gone. That can
She was
happen.
bad on that one.
Now, why she didn't report it earlier, who knows? Maybe she was hoping they could find him. Maybe thinking a self-search would make him available. But that doesn't make it torture. And that doesn't mean that she knew that the boyfriend had been arrested so many times. And if you notice, his last major arrest, other than DUI, was almost 20 years ago. So I think you're making this worse than it is for these two people. As the evidence unfolds.
Okay, I was right. He doesn't have them in any of the pictures. I was thinking he didn't have any. He don't have his tattoos. So this is a new tattoo. Even worse. That's even worse, y'all. Because I mean, you know, he could say like I was in there like a long time ago, you know, but let me see. When was the last time he was charged? Let's see. Let's go back. 12/12/2023. Okay, he was then that's like really fresh. Let me see what he was arrested for. They were dismissed. Okay. Let me just go back again and see what the next one was. Then he was arrested in 2023, 11/13. Looks like for OWI. And they'll take your picture for that. So he must have just got this. I don't know where his newer mugshot would be unless this one's it at the bottom. But yeah. It's showing here that he hasn't been. This was the last time. And it was 11/13/2023. Traffic forfeiture. Guilty due to no contest plea. I was trying to see if it said how many days. Bond amount was $937. So yeah, he definitely got, I mean, if he had a bond, he definitely got arrested. So he definitely would have a picture taken.
We'll see.
He must have just
but
got
I
it.
can't
That's
prejudge
crazy.
them. I don't see her as a good mother,
Daryl,
but I don't see her as a torturer
Daryl,
either.
please put him up. Daryl, I don't give a flying fig about these two people. I don't care what happens to them. You're right about that. I don't care. I want to find this boy, and it's their fault. And how you, with a straight face, look, I know you're a defense attorney, but that said, with a straight face, say it's not torture to force a child to stand in the corner for hours and hours repeating Bible verses and I'm sorry, mommy. You don't think that's torture? Because
Nancy, how
I
do you know
do.
that?
Jump in.
How do you know that's the truth? How do you know that what you hear is they really made him do that? Who told you this? Where did we
They
gather
did.
this
Why
evidence?
would they admit that?
Let's not prejudge.
You know what?
Why would they admit that they didn't do it?
Let's ask the reporter Aisha Morales. Where's that knowledge coming from, Aisha?
Mama? Jesse Vang?
Well, it's hard because we have a whole timeline dating back as far as November. And then you're talking about the days that led up to Elijah's disappearance, or what we're told is his disappearance, what was reported. February 14th is when Bauer eventually told investigators she was in Two Rivers. That's where Elijah went missing. for a period of time. And then the thing is that we haven't really mentioned a whole lot is that she would go back and forth between Two Rivers, checking in on Elijah, who was getting this discipline. And then she'd go back to Wisconsin Dells, which, Nancy, it's about 3 hours away.
Daryl Cohen, his last bust was in 2023. That was last year. It wasn't that long ago. And
What was it for, Nancy?
as far as DUI,
big deal. That doesn't
look,
make him a
I
top
don't care if
murderer.
you sold cocaine yesterday or 10 years ago. You're not babysitting for my children. Bam, there you go.
No,
And as far as where we're getting the information, right now, the mom and the boyfriend are sitting behind bars on other.
Look at these charges. CA, fleeing an officer, battery by prisoner. He's nice to hang out with in a jail setting. Manufacture, deliver, possession of the C word, the white stuff, resisting, obstructing an officer, possession of cocaine. I said it. Sorry, YouTube. Resisting, obstructing an officer, bail jumping, and disorderly conduct and DUI. And then we just read about the DUI, 2023. Yeah. So he had to have gotten that tattoo recently.
Charges related to mistreating this child. The mother, 31-year-old Katrina Bauer, arrested 2 days after Elijah goes missing, charged with felony child neglect and obstructing police. Currently unemployed.
Look at those two underage drinking.
Jesse Vang, the lover, he's behind bars right now too. And he is charged with mistreating the child as well. So what do you mean? Where am I getting
Where'd
my
their eyebrows
information?
go?
I'm getting my information from what the cops put in an arrest warrant. So are you doing the whole O.J. Simpson defense? The cops are lying. The cops planted the evidence. It's a big conspiracy. What?
The cops made the arrest. The police made the arrest. That doesn't mean the information they made the arrest on is accurate. Where did it come from? PFA?
Guys, we are trying to help find Elijah Vue, a 3-year-old little boy. The tip line is 844-267-6648. And speaking of what the parent, oh, yes, and there's a $16,000 reward. As a matter of fact, let's take a listen to Chief Ben Minert describing that reward.
Today, the FBI has now provided an additional reward up to $15,000 for information leading to the location and return of Elijah Vue.
15,000, wow.
Or the arrest and conviction of any individual or individuals responsible or involved with his disappearance.
There you go. I find that really disingenuous, Thomas Fisher, former Milwaukee PD, now Private Eye, to say they weren't torturing this child. And where do you get the information? And the police are probably lying.
I doubt that the police were lying. You know, you get this type of information through taking statements from the individuals involved. You're talking to other people that have knowledge of what's going on or may have some knowledge of what's going on. To sit out here and say the police are lying and putting this in a criminal complaint, you know, that doesn't fly. The parents are just, they're two terrible people. And what we need to do is let this criminal justice system take care of them down the line. But right now we need to find that child.
I want to go back to Mike Hadfield joining us from Peace River Canine Search and Rescue. Mike, I know that there has been as Aisha described it, a landfill search that cooled off. But at this juncture, don't you think starting at the apartment complex and going out with canines would be helpful?
It was in the first couple of weeks after the child went missing. You would want to use the canines at that point. However, the weather doesn't play well to canines. When the temperature drops down below 32 degrees and into those lower temperatures, the dogs become ineffective because there's just not enough odor available for the dogs to work properly. So you have to wait for the good weather.
What do you mean by that?
Well, for a cadaver dog, you have to have at least 38 degrees to get the dogs to work well. Take your freezer at home. You put the meat in the freezer, the meat freezes, it doesn't smell anymore. The same problem with human remains in the field. It's you got to wait for it to at least get up to over 38 degrees for the dogs to be able to work effectively. They may bump into something. If you're doing a tight grid, you might get lucky. But even in the water work, if the water's too cold, it's going to be hard to get odor up for the dogs to be effective. So that's one thing. They were using helicopters, they're using drones. If they're using thermal cameras, which I'm assuming they were thermal drones, the temperature between if the boy is alive, you're going to get a really good heat signature from that. If the boy's remains are out there, again, we have to look at the lapse rate of when it was warm versus when it was cold. Can we still find remains? If it's, it has a lot to do with the weather. And unfortunately up there,
the body temperature would drop too low so they wouldn't be able to find the heat from the body. But it's been 13 days. There's no way he's just hiding out there. And I feel like if you were a 3-year-old and you heard officers coming, I think you'd come out because you think police are kind of cool when you're that age. And you're probably like, oh, they're here to help me. And I think he would come out. Now, Sebastian, another case that we're talking about, he's autistic, and the officers right now are playing a song that he loves to get him to try to come out from wherever he is, where they think he's out there hiding. But it's another
Wisconsin, they're having a wild winter this year. It's 65 degrees one day and 12 degrees the next. So
that's Ohio.
It's interesting to see how well they would be able to find it. Landfill searches, as you brought them up, it may have cooled down on that because landfill searches are a nightmare, and they take a lot of manpower and a lot of time to do them effectively. You basically have to take all the trash out from that day. You have to spread it out in sections. You have to have about 20 people to go through it all, and along with the cadaver dogs to try to look and find what you're looking for. So it's a very expensive and labor-intensive thing, which is probably why it cooled off, because they don't want to spend the money right now to do it until they're really sure they have nothing else to look at.
The grandmother of 3-year-old Elijah Vue has just spoken out in the last 24 hours.
The grandmother, so
Emotional,
sad.
crying,
We saw her.
begging to help find Elijah Vue. This 3-year-old boy was reported missing Feb 20 by Jesse Vang, the boyfriend of
Wasn't even
Elijah's
reported by his
mother,
mama.
who told police she had sent her son, her 3-year-old, to stay with Vang so he could teach the 3-year-old boy.
Sorry. Now I wonder how that went. Vang calls her and says, hey, kid's gone, right? Kid walked out the door. Don't know where he went. Kid's gone. And she said, contact the police. You know what I mean? Like, I doubt he just contacted the police on his own. I doubt that very, 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 very much.
Quote, how to be a man. That is in the criminal complaint.
Right, the family that's coming forward is actually so it's Elijah's father's family. Elijah's father's family. It's
filed at the county
Linda,
level.
I believe
Vang
it's his
then
sister.
tells police he was taking a
And,
nap.
the grandmother.
And miraculously, coincidentally, oddly, wakes up to find the baby is gone. Now, both Vang and Vue's mother, Katrina Bauer, have been in lockup on charges of child neglect. The family is begging. A child missing, says Chief Ben Meinert, for any amount of time is every parent's worst nightmare. Hundreds of resources have been used in the search. Drones, helicopters, canines, all used across the entire county and beyond. Aisha Morales, when the chief says county and beyond, where else are they looking?
They have been going now in multiple counties. It's not just where he went missing. It is now even as far as the Milwaukee area, even into central Wisconsin, which is about 3 hours away, where Bauer herself was going back and forth from. So she was, it's from what it seems, according to this complaint, she was not there that day. She was there the days before, but not that day that he went missing. So because she was in Wisconsin,
she didn't miss Valentine's
three
Day.
hours away, and they have resources elsewhere, they're just searching far beyond where he went missing in that neighborhood.
I know this. The county sheriff, Dan Hartwig, closed his press conference in a final plea to the public and was fighting back tears as he thought of this missing 3-year-old boy. There is now a $16,000 reward in the search for 3-year-old Elijah Vue. Tip line 844-267-6648. Repeat, 844-267-6648.
16,000. Wow.
Please help us.
I mean, that's a decent reward. I mean, you know, that might, if somebody has him, I'm wondering if someone did have him, like if we're really lucky and someone, you know, someone good had, like someone had him, what if like they were afraid or to give him back? Like they didn't want him to go back and be in harm's way. I don't know. I don't think anybody would keep him though, unless they were just like, unless it was some sort of, you know, trafficking incident. He is adorable. This is the first picture that I saw of him. And I came on the live that night and we talked about it at the end of the live because I couldn't get him out of my head. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a little boy. He's adorable. We did like an article. We read an article and then we started like following it the next day. We are following so many cases on this channel. It's crazy. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. So actually I saw this video. Let me see. I don't know if they'll get me. Some of these places, they like to like not be very cool. There's one on here for 6 hours ago. Okay, we'll play it. Oh, wait. This is community. What's this one? It says community searches check highways for signs of Elijah. And this was yesterday. Okay. We'll play this one. Actually, let me make it small real quick so I can see you guys as we're watching.
Joining us, I'm Jason Zimmerman. Law enforcement continuing the search for
and if this part is
3-year-old Elijah Vue.
If this part you can't hear, I mean you won't be able to hear me now anyway. Yeah, that means I had to clip this part out. Sometimes the small local stations get you for playing.
Rivers Police Department says firefighters searched the West Twin River.
He is
National
beautiful.
Guard helped with ground searches this weekend. As we first told you, an Amber Alert was issued for Elijah in Two Rivers on February 20th. He weighs between 45 and 50 pounds and has brown hair and brown eyes. In a First Alert update, Emily Roberts follows a small community search party using their hobby to help out.
People continue turning their devastation into action. Small groups leaving the Mikado Theater, hoping to find some answers for Elijah's family.
It's really impressive. You know, I mean, this far out, you know that not interest, but maybe hopes are kind of dwindling a little bit. So it is good to see that there still is hope out there and that we can do our part to find them.
Take a look at this video from our First Alert drone. Our Action 2 News crew joining a search party scouring Highway 10 around Whitelaw and Reedsville for any sign of Elijah. Members of the group Fox Cities Backpackers using their skill set to cover miles of ground.
I knew I'd be doing some hiking anyways, so, you know, might as well come out and do it for a cause and hopefully help, you know, narrow down the search and, you know, ideally find them.
Volunteers are keeping their eyes out as we near 2 weeks since first learning Elijah went missing.
Just any type of signs, you know, footprints, clothing, shoes,
land.
disturbed land.
Yeah. Everyone with one goal in mind.
Just hope he comes home one way or another, that we give the family some peace. Hope we find him.
Holly School and Jenna Benjamin say they're 2 out of dozens they've seen joining together to look for Elijah over the weekend.
Do it. Yeah, if you've got the time, do it. Because they need all the help they can get.
So many people sending love to Elijah's family from across the state, the country, even the globe. The Facebook page, Where is Elijah Vue? Close to 9,000 members.
Know that the community has their back and we'll keep looking and keep up the hope.
If you can't join a search party, you can still help the efforts to find Elijah. Donation funds confirmed by Two Rivers Police are still on our website, wbai.com/links. One, to increase a reward for any information leading to finding Elijah, and the other to support the law enforcement agencies that continue to show up hoping to find any sign of the little boy. In Manitowoc, Emily Roberts, Action 2 News.
And right there is Elijah's picture. Just one more time. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $15,000 for.
Wow, $15,000 is a lot of money. So, I mean, I am hoping that somebody, if they do have him, they're thinking $15,000 sounds more than what I'm for. Maybe the baby is, maybe Elijah to them isn't like worth that much. I mean, that's really sucks to say that, because I think he's beautiful and he's precious, and I would love to have a baby that, was like him. He just looks adorable to me. But apparently he was running the streets, he was acting out. I'm probably going to say it's because he was being bottle fed. If he was acting out at all, he was probably because he was being bottle fed and he was sitting in shit all day. The dude was sitting in diaper all day. That they changed it in the morning probably, and then changed it the next morning. It probably wasn't, it's just one time a day is not, that is not going to work for anybody. Just think about yourself. Can you go to the bathroom one time a day? Was drug addiction? Yeah, might have been, Liz. Well, they won't have them now in jail. Well, you could still get that stuff in jail. Now, I am a part of the Where is Elijah Vue discussion group on Facebook. I don't really do these usually, but here recently I have been digging into Facebook. I usually don't. But I'll share this with you. It doesn't really say anything, and like new. Just like praying stuff. Well, they didn't do an Amber Alert, I don't think. Okay. Nothing. That's really, well, I guess they're doing volunteers. Volunteers are welcome. Wow. I guess there's nothing really going on. I think I'm actually in a chat too. Okay. It's like a timeline, but they said it's not, like, they don't know if it's accurate. Oh, that's all of it, I guess it's going to show me. So yeah, that's really sad. This group has 8.8K members. I mean, it has a lot of people in it. I'm really hoping that they find him. I really want them to find him. I don't want to see him turn into another Madeline Soto case where we're just waiting, hoping. I don't even think there's a reward out for her. I'm going to look. Let me see. There has to be like something. What? Oh, never mind. I thought that was the reward. I don't know. It doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say. We'll have to do another live over that case. It's crazy. There's so many kids. I was looking that up too. It says on here, each year, some 460,000 kids are reported missing, according to the U.S. Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, although most are located and returned. Now, I don't know if that might be in Ohio. Hold on. That's Ohio. So let's go back. So it looks like 800,000 maybe, because it says Child Watch, but then it says like there's two different numbers. There's 460 in the United States each year, but then it says, however, Child Watch of North America estimates that around 800,000 children are reported missing. Those are two big different numbers. I mean, that's double. Hey, for real. So I'm wondering, which one is true? Now let's see. Now let me go really quick before we all go home, go to bed, go home. We're at home. Before y'all go home, like you're in here with me. Let's see here. We're gonna look his name up I'm going to look it up on Twitter really quick, see if there's anything, if anyone's talking about anything. Nancy Grace is the top on my list. He's been missing for 13 days. Someone said 10 days. It's over 10. It says Wisconsin National Guard and DNR joined the search for missing 3-year-old Elijah Vue. And that's today. It looks like 4 hours ago. It looks like it's like a local place, so I don't know. Wow. Okay, here, I can share this with you guys. So you're not just like looking at me sitting here with my mouth hanging open. Because I'm usually have my mouth hanging open. The Two Rivers Police Department posted today the officers continue. I guess I can go into their Facebook. Let's see. Okay. Looks like law enforcement this is today, or this is yesterday. So they haven't released anything since yesterday, but they released this at March 3rd, 2024, 3:30 p.m. They usually will do like a press conference, or they'll like release a statement of some sort. Like you can see all the press releases right here on the photos. Law enforcement continued royal canvassing today, and they followed up on tips and leads that came through our tip line 1-844-267-6648. Manitowoc County Crime Stoppers, P3 app, and our police department email. Areas of Choteau and Caddo were also searched extensively. The Two Rivers Fire Department provided additional searches of the West Twin River, and the National Guard also aided with ground searches this weekend. Elijah has not been located. Please continue to search, and please contact us with any information you feel relevant to locating him. Chief of Police. If you're in the area and you're listening to this and you have land, check your land, check your outhouses, not outhouses, what are they called? People don't have outhouses now. What am I talking about? Sheds, whatever they're called, outhouses. Does anybody have an outhouse still? Speaking of which, anybody country enough to have an outhouse in their backyard? Because there's people that still don't have them, I guess. Don't use them, but have them in their backyard. Check the drainage pipes even. If you have those drainage pipes that go through your, around your driveway, check those. He's little. You never know where kids could be hiding. I don't see this ending very good. I hope so. I really hope someone has them and they're treating him really well, and they just don't have a TV or something. They just don't know. That's not, I'm dreaming over here. I'm dreaming. Yeah, people do still have outhouses. Yeah, for real. I was about to say they probably do. Have one in the backyard. They'll have so an outhouse, if you're not familiar, it used to be like an old school toilet. That's where people would go to the bathroom. You have to go outside, go to the bathroom. We live in a great world today. Can you imagine having to go to the bathroom in the wintertime? Oh, my Lordy. Or in the summer. It would still be really hot. My brother-in-law does, and he has his own town on his land. Oh, wow. An old ghost town and creek, his land with a house. That's really cool, Bridget. That's really cool. I'd like to go there and see that. That's cool. From how they were treated, I don't think he'll be found. Okay, me either. Baby girl, I don't think so. Ladybug says, I have 4 children. I'm so blessed that they were safe and didn't get into this kind of thing. Yeah. I remember my parents, like I told you guys, my parents left me at a store one time on accident. It was the 80s, early 90s. My grandparents didn't have indoor plumbing until the 1980s. Wow. I think that's what it was for a lot of people. 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Wow. So yeah, have they said what the neighborhood cameras and doorbells? No, they haven't. They haven't told us. Which somebody has to have one right, like near there. You would think, surely. You would think. I mean, we have one and we live in a building. We have it for added security. We can't hear the doorbell when people ring it. I mean, I don't hear it. We just have an app. It dings. The girl moved out actually across from us, and Vincent's phone was going off the other day like crazy. So I wonder, they're admitting to some stuff. You know, like he's admitting to the diapers, the bottles, the standing up for hours, the praying, the saying I'm sorry to my mommy, all of that. He's admitting to that and then some. But then he's just like, nope, the kid just walked off. Like, I don't see you letting him walk off. I don't think he was even out of his sight very much. Or if he was just like locked up in a room with his little toolbox to play. If he even gave him that. Standardized plumbing didn't really become a thing until 1920, 1930s. Not that long ago. Yeah, that's really not. If you think about it. We live in a good world today. Just imagine like 100 years from now, someone will be saying like, we live in a great world. It'll be like even cooler. Actually, I might not. I think I'm cool. There's so much technology. I'm cool. Stop it. AI, I'm cool. I never have used AI, but I know a lot of creators that do use it. That stuff freaks me out. I don't want to look like a cartoon character. Like that's what I think. The AI makes you look like a cartoon character. I'm cool. I want to look like me. I look like me. That way, you guys know what I look like. Hopefully they checked all. Yeah, they would have. They would have checked all the cameras. That's how they. Wait, no, they didn't get him. That was a different case, I think. But I think that a neighbor or somebody in the area, that's who called in the shoe tip. I'm assuming they saw the missing person flyer and then they were just maybe happened to go to the trash and they found it. I don't know who found it, but I don't know if the cops found it or if it was somebody that found it. Yeah, Squeaky Will. Yeah, Audrey Cunningham. Well, there's some updates in her case too. We'll have to go over those maybe tomorrow. I mean, yeah, there's some updates. Like, dude wouldn't let the school counselor talk to her anymore. Like, she tried to go to the school counselor, I guess. And yeah, it's some stuff. So I'll be having that tomorrow. Before you all go, let me show you some mug shots because we love mug shots on this channel. I have mug shots of Miss Jody Hildebrandt and I have a mug shot of Miss Ruby Frank. They look like hell. And praise the Lord, she looks like shit. She abused, malnourished, neglected 2 children, maybe 4, maybe 6. Yeah, she doesn't. She looks like she's like, oh. And then you see Ruby. Y'all, Ruby, she's taking it all in. Now, I don't know where her hair went. I guess those millions of dollars really helped her out. She's smiling. She's freaking smirking in her mugshot, y'all. You know how mad this made me when I saw this? But then I kind of laughed because look at her. She looks she be looking bad. So, yes, well, or Harlow. Someone needs to give her AI photo editing. I mean, she needs it. Maybe they could do that in the jail. No surveillance video or cell phone pings. Not yet. Not yet, Jay. I hope we get some. Meet Ruby with no extensions. Yeah. They probably took them out. She's probably sad. Because, they're not going to let you have them because they could think that you could hide stuff up in them probably. But yeah, she'd be looking bad. Yeah. Well, Roseanne, I barely have my hair and makeup done. I have my makeup done today, though. I just blow dry my hair. But I have my makeup on. That means I have to take it off. Shit. Shit. I said shit. That's the worst part about makeup. I just hate taking it off. I apologize for things I know I never did in life, period. Well, I apologize for things I did when I was younger. Now that I'm older, like to my mom, like I just say it to her. She's in heaven. I'll be like, Mom, I'm sorry. I did that. Like, or this, like, for instance, Mom, when your back was hurting you because she had a rheumatoid arthritis, why didn't you tell us to make our own dinner? Let you sit down. She never told us that. She never let us know that she was in pain or anything. Now that I'm older, I can see it, more. Some locks and some socks therapy. Yeah. Look at her. She's just, we'll go back to Jody. Jody looks like a deer in the headlights. She's like, oh, this is going to be fun. 16 years. Well, she got, I think, 6 to 16 years. And old Ruby got 1 to 16. I think that's what it was. Daybell's going on trial, I think, next month, for Truth and Justice. Yeah, they're all going. They're all going to hell in a handbasket. They can all share a jail. So for all I give a care, put them in the little bunks that go on the floor. I don't care. Sit them somewhere. They're good. They're all going to. So just think though. Just think this is the beauty. They're all going to end up in general population at some point, and they're all going to have to account for what they did. Most people in prison, they don't like people that hurt children. They just don't. There is a thing that is said around the whole place. People will come in there and they would have hurt. They will have a charge on them where it's like CA, and they'll come in. They'll be like, I got a DUI. They'll straight lie to people about what their charges are so that they don't get hurt. These people are all high profile. They're going to go in there. These people are going to know them. They're not going to protect them forever. They can't. They ain't got money for that. So they're all going to go in there and they're all going to be good. Was I calling her Frank again? Maybe if I did, Frankie. Sorry if I said her last name wrong. I usually do. I think of it like Bethany Funk with the silent E. But thank you guys for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. We had a huge live. It was really great. Thank you guys for coming in. I really appreciate it. We did 3 hours tonight. Wowza. I've been keeping it down usually to like an hour and a half, hour and 45. We just did 259.12. So I guess we'll just have to stay here till 3 hours. Wow. Did 3 hours. So if you guys don't mind, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you here. If you'd like to become a channel member, I'll put the link in the chat. We'd love to have you become a channel member. We do members only lives. You get members only emojis, badges, all the fun stuff, and you become part of our family and our team. If you're a subscriber, you're still part of the family and team though. We love you all the same. We all love you all the same. We have a tight group here and I do appreciate you guys. And if you're watching over on the other channel, Unfiltered, that channel, thank you guys for joining me over there. I appreciate you guys so much. I've been in the chat here and there, trying to talk to you guys, but I really appreciate you guys all being here tonight. I'll be back tomorrow around the same time, a little before actually, because I was 9:30 today. So like 8:15, 9:15, but I'll be here. We'll talk. I think we're going to do Audrey Cunningham tomorrow. So I'll have some case updates. We'll talk about it because there's some big stuff going on in that case. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow and have a good night. Bye guys. And have a good Monday morning tomorrow. Bye.